Action!
Hello and welcome to episode 38 of Your Average Critics, joined with Chris and Obi for a Christmassy podcast and a podcast that is at one with the Force. Joe said he was going to turn up today, didn't, so Obi's going to slap him. We might film that, put it on YouTube. Or is that happy slapping? Don't know.
Do you remember Happy Slaps?
Oh, happy Slaps! Jesus Christ, that is a throwback. That's such a throwback.
Did you ever have like a what's it called? Like an assembly, basically telling people to stop
Happy Slaps.
telling people to stop happy slapping. Oh mate, Happy Slaps was the best.
Did you ever get happy slapped?
I never got happy slapped. I handed out a fair few happy slaps.
Did you? You're a happy slapper.
Because I have big hands. I handed out a fair few happy slaps. But like, not like... Actually, no, they were quite brutal, I'm not going to lie. I was going to try and make it so like the people deserved it, but they didn't.
Primary school bully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
Shout out,
Good
happy
times.
slaps.
Good times.
So on today's podcast, we'll be talking about our favourite Christmas films. We'll be talking about Star Wars: The Last Jedi, which, if you're going to go into spoilers, I will leave the room.
I think we can do it spoiler free.
Yeah?
I think we can definitely do it spoiler free.
Okay, because I'm not going to be able to watch it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. There was something, I just want to say right now, there is something very Indiana Jones about the Star Wars film.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's
okay.
That's all I'll say about that.
But the thing is, Harrison Ford's not in it, is he?
What's this? Star Wars 8?
Yeah.
No,
He said there's something Indiana Jonesy about it.
Yeah.
Is there just a lot of screaming?
No.
Okay, actually,
No.
to be fair, I don't want to know.
Yeah. I don't know, because will probably agree with me, to be honest.
What's that?
When I say what I say. I don't know, to be honest, okay. So, there's a sequence in the film that is basically inconsequential to the whole film.
Okay.
Basically. So, like, the whole thing could just not happen, and the film would probably turn out exactly the same.
I actually genuinely think the film is too long.
Do you?
Really?
Yeah, I think it's too long.
It's 2.5, isn't it?
2:20, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's too long.
Okay, and there's obvious stuff, like including that scene, that can be cut out, do you think?
To be honest, if you cut out the bit I'm talking about, you're talking about a good 20 minutes to half an hour.
Really?
Probably.
Where are they at this point?
So
then I can get a grip of what you're talking about.
Basically, Finn and the what's
Poe.
his face?
Oh no!
And Rose and the llamas, the donkey things. That whole bit was like that whole bit.
Yeah.
I feel like you could take it out of the film and it would literally end up the exact
But I've
same
heard
way.
that this film is different, and critics have liked it because the narrative is defined and determined by the characters rather than the end goal. So whereas in like a film like I don't know, say Indiana Jones, he has to find the Holy Grail, right? Mm-hmm. So the narrative is Indiana Jones will end up finding the Holy Grail, and anything in between that, whatever. Whereas people are saying that this film is all about the characters' arcs. So it's like, where is Rey going to end up at the end of this film? Where will Finn be?
So basically, it's a replication of.
Yeah, but rather than, we have to destroy the First Order, that would, there would be character arcs within that, but the narrative thrust would be they have to find the First Order or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas, so I don't know, did that come across in the film?
Kind of. I would say the film's not really about an end goal. It's kind of more about, from what I've gathered anyway, it's more about them trying to keep the Resistance alive.
Okay.
Kind of.
Because if you think about it, The Force Awakens is introducing us to the new characters and some of the old characters, setting up the incident. Mm-hmm. This is the middle part of the trilogy, obviously character development, and I assume Episode 9 will be, the big battle for...
How much time had passed from 7 to 8?
Well,
it's immediately
right after.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Yeah. Well,
because I just thought
Rey's part is
because Finn was in that thing.
Yeah.
And I was like,
because it was.
How long's it been?
Well, it might be longer for him, and it might be. I don't know if they did the timing coinciding with each other.
He was comatose, wasn't he? At the end of the first.
He did get lightsaber to the back.
He's still comatose at the end of the start of the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so I liked it. I watched Force Awakens for the first time, and I really like that. I think that Force Awakens is better.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
You
Last
agree?
Jedi.
Okay. We'll come with you.
But the Last Jedi is very good. I think there's a lot more action, I would say, in this one than there is in the Force Awakens, which I'm not sure is what I wanted, but it was good. I like Kylo. Kylo is a pussy, but I like him. He's probably still my favourite character.
Fair play.
Obviously Finn's good. There's one thing that happens in the film that technically kind of ruined the whole film for me, but that's just my little.
Is it the thing we spoke about?
I don't know. What did we speak about?
Snork.
No.
But
but that is a big thing.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. But yeah, no. There's one thing that happens in the film that obviously when you see it, I can talk about it. But it's proper minuscule. Like no one else will probably care about it. But it's just me.
Okay.
So. But yeah, no, it was really good. I thought it was good seeing because obviously I haven't seen all the other Star Wars, but obviously I know that Luke Skywalker is a big deal, and it was good seeing he had his version of a story, and then we kind of saw Kylo Ren's version of a story, and then we kind of saw what actually happened.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that was pretty.
That
cool.
was good actually. I do like that.
But yeah,
because Kylo Ren, the backstory is Kylo Ren killed all his Jedi.
Yeah, he was training them all, and then
Okay. Right.
There is so many questions at the beginning of this film that you think, yes, this film is going to answer every question you want answered, and it doesn't.
But
it doesn't
answer it in 9,
It doesn't
right?
answer any of them.
Right. Okay.
I know it answers one of them, and you think, really?
Okay.
What bit are you talking about? With Rey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
No.
I really didn't like that.
So did you find out Rey's origins then?
Yeah.
Yeah, unless it's a lie.
Okay. Right.
But you're not going to be happy with it. Oh no, maybe you will. I don't know.
I wanted something different.
Yeah, same.
Everyone assumes that she.
No, we're not saying anymore.
No.
You say what you think, and then
everyone
we'll move
assumes that she's somehow related to Luke.
Right.
Because Jedi are supposed to be celibate, but.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
But I don't really know who her mother would be or anything else. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I think you'll enjoy it.
I like the Star Wars films. They're just kind of harmless fun. But what you said it wasn't as much action as you hoped. What did you hope from?
No,
I said there was a lot of action.
Sorry, yeah.
More action than.
What would you have hoped for then?
Maybe just a bit more. I feel like obviously with Star Wars 7 they had to set up a lot of characters, so there was a lot more dialogue. Characters meeting each other for the first time and stuff like that, and I quite enjoyed that. Whereas I felt like in The Last Jedi it was a lot because we know the vast majority of the characters apart from a couple that were introduced. So it was mostly just people attacking each other, other people, and people doing action-y type things. But it wasn't bad or anything. But I'm just saying the other one had, considering the film's longer than The Force Awakens and it has more action, there was a lot less dialogue than I thought there would be.
There's scenes in this film, and I just think, and I think probably a lot of people agree with me. Some people might not agree with me, and I can't wait for you to watch it. There's a scene in it, and I just think, what the fuck has just happened?
It didn't make sense, or it was confusing.
Spaceship.
It shouldn't have happened. Basically, I think it was just stupid.
Okay.
I'll explain to you after, and you may or may not agree with me. I don't know.
Okay.
There's good. What's the word where they do it for the fans? I forget it every week.
References,
No,
Easter eggs.
Pandering?
No. So the last film was a fan. It was for the fans.
Like
it was,
tribute.
No.
Doesn't matter. Carry on.
Rehash.
No. They did all the bits to relate.
Fan service.
Yeah, almost. They did a bit of fan service in this film, which was good. I thought. I think. Rey on the island with Luke, I think there needed to be more
I agree.
context with them.
I bet there needs to be more in general.
Yeah, it was so brief, and then you go from one moment Rey's there, and the next moment she's got longer hair, she's dressing all different, and it's just what the hell kind of thing.
Okay.
The Force is a very big part of this film, a very big part, I'd say.
Oh yeah, there's one bit that even I found a bit strange.
Yes, that's the bit I was just talking about.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But then there is another, and then there's a bit in it which was really clever, but at the same time I was like, that's a bit much as well. So you'll see. They hone into the fans, what the fans want. Like you see loads of old places, Millennium Falcon's still in it, blah blah blah, this and that. But yeah, I think for me it's probably gonna get a 6 or a 6.5 though.
Would you still watch the 9th one, both of you?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And there's no end credit scene or anything.
I didn't stay long enough.
Yeah, if there was, I didn't see it.
They haven't in the other ones, so I just assumed they didn't.
I didn't like the you know those toys you the new cat, those new
The
little...
porgs.
Yeah, I don't like them.
No. The ones that just go.
I think they're annoying. I'm not gonna lie.
That was it. They made this film funnier as well. There was, I think, too much. I think there was too much for me.
I actually agree with you.
Yeah, like Luke was being too funny when he was meant to be serious.
Okay.
And I think that's what, for me, I was taken away from it, and I was like, this is bad acting as well. Like, because I wasn't seeing him as Luke Skywalker, the Jedi. I was seeing him for Luke Skywalker, this dumb idiot trying to make jokes about stuff. Like,
But maybe, because you said there's more violence in this one.
there's more explosions and like action, but I don't know if you. I know it is violence, but it's no like bloody gore. Well, it's not going to be in Star Wars, is there?
No. Although people get limbs severed in a lot.
There
of
is.
films.
There's one really good fight scene I really liked, and there's one fight scene that I really didn't like, and I thought it was really short.
Okay.
Again, I'll have to explain to you which ones. I think you probably know the one that I thought was good.
Yeah.
And there's a fight scene, yeah. Does it give it away?
No, don't worry.
Yeah.
So you gave it 6.5. What would you give it?
I'll say 7.
And what would you both have rated The Force Awakens?
7
Now watching this.
7.5 to an 8. I would say.
Okay.
Probably 7.5.
Okay.
Now watching this, yeah.
Well, I will see it eventually.
I will. If when it comes out on DVD, I'm gonna watch them all in order
Okay.
and see.
Including Rogue One between 4 and 5.
Oh yes, I love Rogue One.
Rogue One is so good.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing.
Cool. Well, sort of on the Star Wars theme, it has been confirmed finally that Disney have bought Fox, 21st Century Fox, their entertainment arm, which includes like their shares in Hulu, Sky, their film and entertainment business. I assume all their back catalogue. It doesn't include their news or their sports, which are staying separate. But this, how much was it? Like $59 billion, which is about £38 billion or something. So, just small change.
Yeah.
What do we think? Are we excited?
No.
Why not?
You know what?
I think I said this last week or maybe the week before. I don't like the idea of all these things being under one umbrella. I like different entities to have their separate ideologies, sorts of thing.
Okay.
I don't like things because with like Marvel films, for example. I think I said this last week, but I'll say it again. All the films have quite the same tone.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be watching an X-Men. Obviously, the films are really good, but I don't want to be watching an X-Men film thinking, oh, this feels like I'm watching like Avengers or something like that. I like them to be distinct from each other.
Do you not think the Marvel films at the moment are distinct in certain ways? Like Ragnarok is definitely a Taika Waititi film.
They are, but
Guardians
tonally,
of the Galaxy.
Tonally, I feel like they're all very similar. Whereas if you compare a film, Marvel film to like a DC film, for example, like I think they're completely different.
But do you think the DC films themselves are tonally different?
There's not been many
Not
to
really.
compare, really, is there?
No.
They've all been done by Zack Snyder, haven't
they've all been done by the same person. So,
So even like Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman was not tonally that different from.
not really.
No.
Not really. But I just I just don't like the idea of like I prefer not to have a monopoly in the market.
Yeah, definitely.
I much prefer.
I'm surprised they don't have one right now, because they're part of an oligopoly at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by buying this. They do not have a monopoly in the market now.
I'm surprised it was allowed.
What counts as a monopoly? Isn't it over
25%?
Over 25%. So how much have they got?
Because Tesco in the supermarket has a monopoly technically, but is also an oligopoly because.
So Disney
Sainsbury's-
now, how much have they got? Sorry.
I don't know, because there's 6
People-
studios
so
still, isn't there?
there's-
Or 5.
According to like the financial people, which I assume is purely estimated,
Yeah.
they think that Disney will now control 40% of the box office.
Ooh.
Okay, so it is a monopoly then.
So that's
Jesus, yeah.
that's huge.
That is
So that's what I'm
huge.
saying. Like, I think competition breeds better
Yeah.
results.
Definitely, because
So-
you need the pressure. Of
Exactly. It's like it's
Yeah.
like FIFA. Like FIFA are the only football game out there. But well, obviously you got PES, but PES doesn't really compare in terms of sales.
Yeah.
So they can pretty much do whatever they want, and people are still going to buy their
But,
game.
yeah.
So the quality,
Does
I
go
think
down.
anyway, goes down. Whereas I think if you've got we've got Fox where they're putting out this and DC are putting out this and Paramount are putting out this and all stuff like that. I think you're more likely to try and up your game to try and beat your
True.
your
Competitor,
counterparts.
Yeah.
Do we know whether Disney are now just going to revamp the whole of Fox Studios, or is it still going to be the writing and production team of Fox Studios? They just
I
now
don't
owned
know.
by Disney.
I don't know. I hope it's that, because
then your thing will be fine if it's what I've just said.
Because Disney are like such a family-friendly brand.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's ever been a film rated higher than 12A under the Disney banner. And obviously, like, things like Deadpool, Logan, like, I think they need to keep there as like a separate arm of it. Because they used to own, I think it was Miramax, which was their kind of studio that they would produce kind of R-rated and 15 because they don't want to associate with Disney, you know. But I was looking at the top 10 films of the year. And obviously you've got Ragnarok made almost 900 million. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 made almost 900 million. There's one other Marvel film. Spider-Man Homecoming made almost 900 million. And then I think of the Fox films, I think It is a Fox film.
I think
that made like 600 and something million. So that's already there is about 3.5 billion. And they are going to control so much. And I wonder, do you reckon other studios are now going to be thinking, let's just pair up? Do you think like Warner Brothers and Paramount or whatever?
In theory, that may be a good idea, but in reality, I don't think that would happen.
Because if they come together and it fails, then they've both failed rather than one company failing. It's not.
I mean, and also that monopolises the market even more.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
I mean, from a Marvel standpoint, it's really exciting because they've got now all the rights apart from the others, like
the Spider-Man villains.
Characters. So from that sense, there wasn't really anyone else that. I mean, if they'd sold it to anyone else, the rights would revert back to Marvel anyway.
Right.
Really?
I believe.
Oh right.
So they probably thought he'll get loads of money for it. I feel like it's such a strange move. Like, I don't know whether 20th Century Fox was like failing. Like
Rupert Murdoch must have a hidden agenda here somewhere.
Yeah, because it wasn't as if like, you know, they've had like loads of flops. I feel like Warner Brothers, if anything, have had more flops. You know, with like Justice League and, you know, their apart from Wonder Woman. Yeah. And like Fox had Fox Searchlight, which, you know, produced a lot of like Oscar-worthy films. I just hope that Disney keep, like the individual kind of talent in there.
Sorry, to your point about the Disney rating over 12A, the Marvel Netflix shows, are they Disney?
No, they're Marvel.
Okay.
So
they're not affiliated to Disney.
No.
Okay.
I don't even.
But they can be incorporated in Avengers because they are Marvel, so they're not. Yeah. They're not brand specific as Marvel, Disney, Marvel, Fox, Marvel, Sony. Whatever
you get
other Marvel
like,
you can get.
You get like, so Warner Brothers is a Time Warner company, so I mean, Disney ultimately owns all of these things, but I just say you won't probably have the Magic Kingdom come up beforehand. Right. I mean, that doesn't happen on MCU films anyway, but they're more of like a Disney tone than most other things. I mean, I'm only excited about the Marvel characters. Other than that, I am sort of on board with you two. Like, is it just going to be a bit kind of watered down now? Like, are we still going to get a Deadpool 3 where he's like chopping people's limbs off? And
it would be financially wrong of them not to, because that made a lot of money. As much as you didn't think the film was that great, I thought the film was funny, but yet again, not a great storyline as it goes. It got a lot of traction and it made a lot of money, and I think they'd be silly not to. Because he didn't need a trilogy. He can go on forever, just fighting whoever he wants, really. And they could even do the storyline Deadpool versus the Marvel Universe, where he has to kill them all. Like, you could essentially do that. It wouldn't take a lot of time to cameo loads of people in, especially if they have no thing for rights anymore, do they? So, but yeah, I suppose it's then talking more of a not political standpoint, but a standpoint that they're aimed at kids, isn't it? So
I think if they're clever, like they would keep Fox brand. And just say, look, you do you, but we'll just finance it. Because Fox is already a really established brand name. Like, if you think of Fox, you think, oh yeah, you know, they do Walking Dead, don't they? Or it's shown on Fox in this country.
Yeah.
Family Guy, Simpsons. Are they gonna? Because Family Guy
takes the piss out of Disney. Bear.
And also take the piss out of Fox. Yeah. And I can't imagine Disney execs being. I feel like they're a bit more prudish. They'll be like, sorry, you can't have that joke. That's a bit offensive.
Do you remember the episode of Family Guy where they made it like a fairy tale, and then there was I think they did a fairy tale based on Walt Disney, and then Mort came in to the house, and because he's a Jew, all the characters went Jew, and they weren't Jew, and then it started like trying to kill him and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you're Disney, you're thinking like, and you now control this, they must be thinking like, okay, yeah, we can just
it's
nip
either
this in the bud.
one of two things. Well, one of three things. I think either nip it in the bud, which Seth MacFarlane I don't think will be happy with.
No, definitely.
Sell off Family Guy, which is probably a good possibility, or just stick with it because it probably does make a lot of money still.
Yeah.
So and it's like Simpsons as well. Simpsons make a shit ton of money, and it was meant. I swear it was meant to be over like 5 years ago, but they kept going because there's such high on demand for the show. So.
Yeah. The things, they probably streamline the process so much that they probably don't cost too much to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in an ideal world, they'd keep Fox, the brand and all of their kind of personnel, and they would just benefit financially from it.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting. It's either going to be really good for film or just kind of fucking ruin it. And I hope it's the former. Because you've got like things like War of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, but that's done now, isn't it? Though.
Well, yeah, I guess, but I don't know. Like now that all the rights are now owned by Disney, do they have to reboot these things, or can they just continue with the same?
Well, they've bought
kind of
Fox,
franchise?
haven't they? So I assume they've got all the Fox's rights now.
Yeah, true.
So, unless they have to, when they did this deal, they had to sign all the contracts and get all the, what's the word? Trademarking and copyright. Yeah. Unless they had to redo that again. And what's it when you make a brand name and you've got is that copyright as well? So there's another word. Patent, yeah, like get all the patents and stuff like that. So. And
I wonder what it will mean for all the Fox productions that are already currently being made or just about to be released, because we got like three X-Men films next year, right?
I would have thought that they would have been like, okay, the films that are currently in production finish up to a point, and then from here, bang, the rest of it is Disney.
Well, we'll see how Rupert Murdoch handled the negotiations, I suppose. Yeah. But like I read somewhere that his son is quite high up in the Fox company.
He's CEO of Sky or something.
Yeah,
but apparently they wanted him on the board of Disney, and they went nah.
Oh really? They said no.
I mean, this is what I've read.
They wanted the son.
Yeah,
Rupert Murdoch.
Because I was thinking that's really clever if he's got his son on the board, take over for Inside Out, innit?
Yeah, but they said no.
No, yeah,
this is what I've read anyway. So
well, it wouldn't surprise me.
So we'll see.
Why would you change the board when the board's doing pretty well?
Yeah,
I think a 38 billion acquisition's pretty cheap as it goes for such a large company.
I think it's actually, I genuinely didn't think it'd happen. I thought maybe Marvel would buy the rights.
Yeah,
but I didn't think they'd take over the entire studio. I
can't believe the other day I was saying it's 600 million or something.
Wow.
I think I read it and it must have been like a typo or something because
And if they own Sky, that it's another big. Well, I mean, they own 39% of it, or they're trying to buy the rest of it or something. So.
Who, Disney?
Yeah, because Fox own 30 or 40% of Sky.
Oh right.
And they were currently trying to buy the rest of it, but now I reckon Disney would have to try and buy. I don't know how it works. It's all complex.
Can they buy BT Sport, please?
Yeah.
Well, Sky and BT have got a deal coming in 2019, don't they?
Of what they do?
Like, I don't know. They just there's a TV rights deal and coming between them in 2019.
That's the Premier League rights.
That constitutes what?
So they can play, show different games and
that's what they do now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like they're splitting up the Premier League rights, I think.
Oh. No, it's not that.
Bring back Setanta Sports.
I used to hate that Setanta.
It was terrible, wasn't it?
Rubbish, man. To be honest, I don't even mind BT. So going completely off topic, I don't even mind BT Sport because it is quite different to Sky and the way they present it and stuff. Like when they first started, they used to do that. One second, sorry. Yeah. When they first started, they used to do that thing where they had that little mini pitch in the studio and they used to play out of the thing, which I thought was quite interesting. But I just hate the pundits.
Yeah.
Like Glenn Hoddle sucks. Steve McManaman sucks.
Robbie
Savage, crap. Jermaine Genius I don't mind. Gary Lineker I don't mind. And most of the former pros are Rio's alright. And Lampard's alright. But some of them I'm just literally Michael Owen and them I'm just like,
oh, Michael Owen's rubbish.
Ridiculous. Anyway, sorry.
Sky and BT have signed a deal to sell their channels on each other's platforms. Under the deal, BT will now supply its sports channels which show UEFA Champions League and Premier League football to Sky. In addition, BT will be able to sell Sky's Now TV service, which includes Sky Sports, Sky Cinema and Sky Atlantic channels to its customers. Deal comes as the firms face growing competition for online rivals. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
And there's a thing here, 5 reasons why the Murdochs are selling Fox.
Right.
The media industry is changing. Fox is selling its movie studio, television production, regional sports and international business, including Star and European base. Blah, blah, blah. Sale means Fox is left with content believed to be more resistant to the threat from online ads and streaming, and which are dear to Rupert Murdoch's heart.
Really? So he's kept his news arm,
Yeah.
which is basically all going online, but he's selling his film studio, which I don't think Netflix will ever replace cinema.
I don't know if this one's true, but if this is true, then Murdoch's a genius. The Murdochs will get a piece of Disney and online streaming. Disney want Fox businesses to create a larger suite of movies, television shows, and sports, and it's I don't know. The deal gives Fox shareholders, which include the Murdoch family, a rough 25% stake in Disney. Can't imagine that's true.
Well, that's how these takeovers work. They just buy him in shares rather than actual physical cash.
Yeah, well,
It's a bit like equity, wouldn't it?
yeah.
But anyway, talking about sport, follow Sunday League Pedigree if you want to hear more sport from myself and Obi. Chris, you need to make an appearance. We need a Spurs fan.
Yeah, I need Spurs fan.
Yeah, give it a when
Nah,
Spurs win again.
we need Spurs fan on this week because I want to talk about something
But
Spurs related.
back to films. I think we finished the 2 films that we hadn't watched last week. So I'd started watching a film called Single White Female, and I finally finished it. So this is the story of Ali, who's a young professional woman in America, New York, and she has a boyfriend called Steve. But then she finds out he cheated on her, so she kicks him out of their flat and then gets a roommate called Hedy. And basically, everything's going fine, but then Hedy gets a bit like possessive, and then Ali and Steve, her boyfriend, kind of get back together, which means Hedy has to move out. But then things get a bit sinister, and Hedy tries to kind of assimilate herself to be Ali, so she kind of cuts her hair and dyes it in the same way, and then gets a bit kind of violent. She ends up killing Steve and basically doesn't want to let Ali go. So it's very melodramatic. It's quite film noirish. Like Hedy uses her kind of sexuality a lot to kind of entrap men and like then kind of seduce them and then kind of attack them, which I quite enjoyed it. It is not great. The acting isn't great, but it was enjoyable.
What year was this made?
92, something like that. Really early 90s.
Who's the stars?
Bridget Fonda and Jennifer Jason Leigh. So Jennifer Jason Leigh was she's in Hateful Eight. She's one who's captured and gets beaten up quite a lot. Yeah, it was all right. It looks so dated. Like even though it's probably 20 or 25 years old, it just looks so old. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but I didn't finish it and be like, fucking hell, that was a waste of time. So yeah.
Oh, can I ask you guys a random question?
Go for it.
You finished?
I'm finished.
So I was on Twitter the other day, and someone was talking about Will Smith and how they think that his films are overrated, which I don't really agree with, but it made me move on to something else. I don't know how many of the Evil's films you've seen, but out of Will Smith and Jamie Foxx, who do you think's the better actor?
It's a good question.
I've only really seen Jamie Foxx in like comedic or kind of action roles.
Okay.
Like I know he won an Oscar for Ray, didn't he? But
Yeah,
I've never seen that film.
It's a good film.
But then again, also Will Smith was nominated for Ali, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've not really seen enough of their like serious roles. I've probably seen more serious roles from Will Smith, like Pursuit of Happiness.
I think he was nominated for that as well.
I think I'm gonna have to say Will Smith only because I've seen him in a more variety of roles.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it might be because his stuff is more streamlined.
Okay.
Like obviously like this big hype around it all. Like Ali, there was I Am Legend, I, Robot. I mean, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like everyone's seen it. Like there's other films that I can go on, and I think the only bad film that I've really seen of his is After Earth, but he's not really in it anyway. So
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know. I think I prefer Jamie Foxx in the comedic roles, like in Horrible Bosses and stuff. Like,
Okay.
It's quite funny, but overall, I think I definitely prefer Will Smith's films, but I don't necessarily know if that means I prefer him as an actor because he's generally in like bigger budget films because he's a bigger actor,
Okay.
isn't he?
Yeah.
But I guess his performance in Pursuit of Happiness was really good, and she said £7 is.
I've actually seen something.
That's pretty deep. Yeah.
is that-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm told it's really good.
Well,
Wow,
who do you prefer?
So I think that I definitely prefer Will Smith films, like the pair of you. And I've probably seen more Will Smith films than I've seen Jamie Foxx films, but I've seen quite a lot of Jamie Foxx films. And I actually think that in terms of the films for each of them that are like that they're most heralded for, I actually think Jamie Foxx shows a better range of acting than Will Smith does in terms of difference of roles. Because I've seen him in like comedies, dramas, playing all sorts of different characters.
Did he used to be a singer as well? Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, he's a singer, yeah. He used to have his own TV show and on MTV and all sorts. But I do think that Will Smith probably is the better actor and definitely makes better films. But then it's got me thinking about like someone like what's his name? Like some people were comparing Leonardo DiCaprio to Denzel Washington, and so like they were saying that although Denzel Washington is a very good actor, he kind of always plays quite a similar
Yeah,
role.
I was literally gonna say.
He kind of always plays like the guy, like the man.
Yeah.
Sort of like,
And whenever I watch a Denzel Washington film, I'm like, that's Denzel Washington.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
if
yeah.
I watch a Leo film,
his range is very good.
I can't believe Leo hasn't won an Oscar before The Revenant.
Yeah.
I personally don't think he should have won it for The Revenant.
No, it was a cumulative.
Yeah. But that's not the way the awards should work.
I know.
It's like the Ballon d'Or. Like Ronaldo and Messi shouldn't win it for their team accolades. They should win it for themselves.
True.
However, they probably both do deserve
It's
it.
from a football podcast, mate. So,
I'll come to one.
So yeah, and I was actually watching there's a Netflix TV show called She's Got a Habit, which is I think it's produced by Spike Lee, and she was actually talking about the same Oscar thing, but she the main character in She's Got a Habit in the show, she was talking about the Oscars, but she was talking about Denzel Washington, and she was saying that he should have won it for crap. I can't remember what film it was, but he was saying that basically his performance in that film was ridiculously better than the Oscar he actually got a performance for, which was I think it was Training Day.
Training Day, yeah.
So they were saying that they only gave it to him because he missed out on that year, and they kind of felt like they had to give it to him. I can't remember what film.
Denzel's got a wide range of films as well, but they would tend to be quite like actiony, like Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3, Equalizer,
That's a great film.
Love that film.
Unstoppable,
Yeah.
Man on Fire, American Gangster, Training Day.
Do you know what?
You've just said some amazing films in that list.
Although American Gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched like an hour of that and I was so bored.
I've got it, and I've only watched like 20 minutes of it.
I
Just couldn't do it.
found it well boring.
But then I don't know, because they're all quite similar characters. I can't really. Has he ever been like? I can't think of him in like comedic roles or anything like
I
that.
don't think he's really been in it.
It's whether you get given the opportunity though as well.
True.
'Cause, like I think that if you're selling that film, then you try and go for the big Hollywood
I suppose
names
you
that
think,
are
like-
everywhere, don't you?
You probably think of a role for a film, or you think, oh, Denzel would be perfect for this role, or you think because it's a drama-based role about a character who's got like a big ego, and you think of another role, you think, oh, Jamie Foxx would be perfect for this role because it's about a Joker who's slick talking and So people are it's like what I was saying about The Rock and Kevin Hart. It's like they're typecast in their comedic roles.
Yeah.
So when people have roles in their comedy film, they say to Kevin Hart and The Rock, oh, do you want to be in this film? It's a comedy about da-da-da. They don't say, do you want to be in this serious drama about a drug addict who's doing da-da-da-da, because they think he's not going to be good for this role.
True, but then these actors are so kind of big and kind of have so much influence in Hollywood that they can make these own opportunities for themselves.
100%.
They can either produce their own stuff, like Jessica Biel did for that TV show The Sinner that I watched, because she was like, apparently she wanted more roles where she was like a conflicted character or whatever, so she kind of produced that herself. I think Reese Witherspoon's done similar things with a film called Wild, and then these are big names. If they could phone up an agent or whatever and be like, hey, I want to play the villain this time, or I want to play
How funny would
whatever.
it be seeing like I suppose The Rock is going to play a villain, isn't he? Black Adam. But how funny would it be to see like Kevin Hart or someone play a villain in a story? That would be quite interesting.
When they talk about Leo's roles, like he's got like Catch Me If You Can, he's got
Django.
Yeah, he's brilliant in that. To be fair, Jamie Foxx is really good in Django.
Yeah.
Titanic, The Beach, Catch Me If You Can if I've not said
My
that.
favourite film, The Departed.
Departed, that's brilliant. The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Revenant.
Oh, what's that one where he's on the island and he's a bit...
Shutter Island.
Shutter Island. Oh, Inception.
Yeah. So all his films are really like eclectic.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think
Great range.
any of them are like outright comedies. I know like Wolf of Wall Street's pretty funny, but
And Catch Me If You
Catch
Can.
Me If You Can's got
True.
a
Yeah.
comedic element to it, I would say.
and then like, you know, he was really well received for films like What's Eating Gilbert Grape, which I haven't seen, but that's one of his earliest films, and that's you know, he's very highly regarded for that. So I mean, they're both
Mate, you've made me want to do marathons of like these actors.
yeah. Like
And even actresses. I bet there's some in there that I'd probably want to see a marathon of their films. But
I think Amy Adams is a really good actress.
I don't think I've only seen her in... She's Lois Lane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only seen her in that.
Things like Arrival, Nocturnal Animals. She's in American Hustle, The Fighter. So a lot of her roles are quite dramatic but good. And then also Denzel Washington for Fences didn't win an Oscar for that, did he?
No.
Which was
I
a
thought he
bit
was very good
of a shame.
in that.
did the woman win?
Viola Davis.
Yeah.
won,
Oh, thank God for that. She
I mean, that
was
was-
amazing.
She's a fantastic actress.
She is wicked.
Yeah.
Like even us, obviously.
Had to get away with
How to
murder.
Get Away with Murder in that.
Is
Even
it not-
then, she does like a completely like. Obviously, most of the time she appears this like really confident, you know, like brazen woman. But then they do show her more vulnerable side, and she's sick at playing both.
Both.
And she'll be crying, and snot's all falling out. her
Yeah, I was
face.
gonna
I'm
say
like,
she
"Fuck
loves
yeah."
that. She loves that
Loves the
snot
snot.
face. Yeah.
Snotty little-
Yeah, she's sick. But yeah, sorry.
Is that not getting a bit far fetched now?
What, How to Get Away with Murder? Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, they should probably wrap it up. This should be the last season.
What is it now?
They
4?
should wrap it up, yeah, it's 4th season.
Oh my
They should wrap
God.
it up. I don't think they will. I think they're wrapping up Scandal, to be fair. I think this is the last season of Scandal.
What was that, 7?
I think it's 8.
Oh,
I think they're wrapping that up, which they should definitely as well, because it's getting long.
How's Powell getting on as well?
Powell's sick, man.
Man,
Powell's been sick.
And it's
But-
them 3 and The Good Wife. I really want to watch all 4 of them.
Mate, do you know what? I stopped watching The Good Wife. I don't know why, but I binged like the first 5 seasons, and then I got onto it in the last season. I just stopped watching it. I can't remember why, but then Summertime at the end, so I was like, oh, they killed off. Oh, I don't.
Just say it.
They killed off Will. I think it was Will. He was like the main supporting character. He was had like a little thing with Alicia, as the main actress, and they killed him off. And I was like, fuck this show. So yeah, I stopped watching.
Yeah.
That happened to me
Killed off my
with Boardwalk Empire. Like one of my favourite characters, they killed him off, and I was like, I haven't seen it since.
Yeah.
I've still got like 3
You
series.
get so pissed off at something.
It's like I was saying to you, we were talking about the DC crossover episodes because I've only just watched them all,
Oh, yeah.
and one of the women in that is in Grey's Anatomy, and her and this other guy were like my 2 favourite characters, and I think most fans would say they're the 2 favourite characters, and they killed them off at the same
really?
time.
Oh,
It was
really?
just like, what the fuck
Did
just
we talk about
happened?
the crossover last week?
I
spoke
you
about
did,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did we?
No, we spoke about it after we went to see
We
3
did.
Billboards.
We did.
Okay, so
Immerse.
what did you think of the crossover episodes?
I thought it's good. I thought it was better how they actually made it go across 4 episodes, because the last one, it was at the very end of Supergirl, and then it went across the other 3, didn't it? This one, it's actually all 3 of them. The whole idea of it was that so in the comic book style, there's infinite universes with infinite different ways of things have taken place, but in the DC crossover, in the DC TV, there's only 25?
52.
52. I've got it, the numbers.
The
wrong.
numbers,
I
Yeah.
think it's 53 actually.
Yeah, well now it's 53 because there's another.
FX or something?
Yeah, where they found this Earth, I don't know, but they have.
I think it's in the Earth is so bad that just no one speaks about it.
Oh, okay.
No one recognises it.
Yeah, because
But in the comics, it's actually Earth because of X is 10 in Roman numerals,
Yeah.
so it's actually supposed to be Earth 10. But they just said let's call it Earth X.
FX.
Anyway.
So they've deviated a little bit.
Yeah.
But basically, this world, the Nazis won. All these people are still superheroes, and basically Oliver Queen Arrow is the Führer, isn't he? And that I liked. I thought that was good, and they should have streamlined with that. But in the end, you figure out that actually their Supergirl on Earth X is in love with Oliver Queen from Earth X, and
the husband and wife.
their husband and wife, but her heart is failing, and so they're going to try and steal this Earth's Supergirl's heart and put it in hers. I didn't like that storyline. I didn't like that. You might have liked it. I just thought it was unnecessary to add that. They should have just been like, we're Nazis, we want to conquer, we've got all these superheroes and supervillains that are going to mash you up and have like a big sick fight would have been perfect. Like they brought back some old faces like Tommy, who was Oliver Queen's best mate, and he died in season 1. And so that was like really, there was like a really emotional point, and then Tommy was like pretending as if he was like, oh yeah, my mate, and then he's like, ha, like I'd fall for that kind of thing.
He kills himself.
Yeah, and then he kills himself. Yeah.
Side mode.
Yeah.
Nazis, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can we just, when there's a retrospective history, can it just stop being Nazis taken over? Can we fucking think of something else? There's like fucking 2,000 years of history.
I still want to watch, what's it called though? Man in the High Castle.
It's actually decent, but like, I've seen the first like 5 episodes,
Yeah.
but I've got a feeling, because I haven't watched it, I've got a feeling there's time travel involved in it. I'm like, as soon as time travel gets involved, you know
What
it's going
about
to
the
get...
Romans? What about if the Romans carried on?
Who cares about
Didn't die out in fucking AD 80?
Well, they're gonna bring a
To be
fucking
fair,
massive
in Legends of Tomorrow, I think you probably watched the episode. They do so the whole time aberration thing. So this one is basically what happens if the Vikings or the Normans or whichever ones didn't leave America back before America was discovered, inverted commas, by Christopher Columbus and them.
Did the Vikings ever be in America?
So I didn't know this. Apparently this is an actual thing.
Really?
So,
I thought they
like,
just
like
stuck to Scandinavia.
Like 400 years before. Apparently, so apparently they were there, and basically they decided to, because they didn't want to combat the inhabitants of who were in America already, they decided to go back to their country. But in this version, they what's his face? Martin Stein, a young version of Martin Stein, basically appears. He becomes a time aberration, so he shifts from one time to back to, I don't know what year it was, like let's say 1300s or whatever it is, and he's got this toy called Bebo, which is basically like a Furby. And
Oh yeah, I've seen this one. Yeah.
And like it like speaks and stuff. So then the Vikings, they see this toy, they take it, they treat it as a god because it's just like talking.
God.
And basically it convinces them to stay in America, and then America becomes New Valhalla or something like that.
I'm sorry, but Legends of Tomorrow just sounds like the worst TV show.
Season 1.
Do you know what though?
It is actually...
Do you know what though? It's actually.
It's so bad, it's good.
Because yeah, it's so goofy and so stupid, but it's the one show out of all these ones that doesn't really take itself seriously.
I think I fucking hate it.
He probably would, because it doesn't really make that much sense. But did you know that actually, Legends of Tomorrow, Rip Hunter was supposed to assemble a new team every season. It was supposed to be like an anthology sort of thing.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so like obviously you had this team in season 1 and you were supposed to get a completely different new team. But like because the characters, obviously apart from the ones that left, because the characters that were in season 1 were so popular, they were just like, yeah, we're just going to keep it.
Fair play.
Keep it the way it is with a few changes.
I must admit though, I was in tears, mate. There's a really sad bit in the crossover. It's actually making me tear up now.
I genuinely felt really sad.
Yeah. So
Why?
basically, there's a character called Firestorm, and in the comics, I believe it's the same that 2 people need to merge together to become Firestorm because they've got a nuclear. No, is it a nuclear bomb like almost inside a nuclear reactor inside them?
Yeah,
and if they don't, basically, yeah.
If they don't connect every now and again, then basically they both explode.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they're both Firestorm.
Yeah, but only when they're together.
When they're together, they become like the
But
actual
when
superhero.
they're separate, they can feel each other's emotions and thoughts and stuff. So if one of them was to have sex, they would know about it, and if one of them was to fall in love, the other one would know about it, kind of thing like that. And basically, there was this whole part that I've forgotten their name. So it's Stein and Jax. That's it.
Who's played by? Do you remember? You know, Attack the Block.
Yeah.
You know, the one who goes, "Oh, that's blacker than my cousin Femi."
Shit, is that him?
It's him, yeah.
Oh my days.
Franz Damme, I think is his name.
That's
so he
jokes.
plays Jax and everything.
But basically, Jax has got the feeling that Stein doesn't want to be on the ship anymore. Well, no, it's more that Stein's just had a grandchild, even though his grandchild's technically an aberration, but that's thanks to Flash. And he's not spending enough time. He's got this screen that he can talk to him through, but it's not really seeing him. So Jax is like, let's figure out a way to separate us so that you can be your family. And so...
And this guy's old.
Yeah, he
so
is. Yeah, ancient.
Wants to keep it quits.
And basically, they're in this shootout thing, and Stein gets shot. And instead of just staying down, he gets back up, pulls a lever that needed to be pulled, and he gets shot again. Yeah. And it's game over. But no, he's still alive at this point because they put him in a machine in the Legends of Tomorrow's ship.
They merged to.
Oh yeah, to merge
because Jax was okay, so they merged to keep him alive basically, so till they could get him to the ship and put him on this machine, and because they were because they connected basically. Jax was dying as well basically because he was dying. So.
And then Stein was like, they had this serum which would basically take. It would make it so neither of them would be Firestorm anymore. But so if Jax wanted to become Firestorm, we'd have to find another partner to do it. and basically, if Stein took this, he would die because he hasn't got the. He'd be more vulnerable because he didn't have Jax's resilience like going through him almost. So, and Jax was like, "No, I can't let you do this," and then he gave it to him and he took it, and then Jax was fine. Stein was dead. And it was just like when Jax went to the family.
To the family and died. And,
it was so emotional, man.
I was actually proper upset.
And then when they were like, because Jax was like saying like how Stein was basically a dad to him, and I was like, mate, this is so deep. Like, it was the deepest thing I've seen on Legends. And then it was just like, he went to the family, he was like, he was like crying, I'm so sorry. I couldn't do anything. And then there was like, he was like a father to you, don't worry, you're part of the family. Like, this stuff.
So does he now need to find another nuclear person to...
Well, I assume...
I think he's okay.
Is he okay?
He's okay, because he took the serum thing, whatever. So, like, the episode after the crossover, he wasn't Firestorm, and he was alright. And like nothing seemed to they didn't seem to think, oh yeah, he's in trouble, we need to find him a new thing. So he seems to be alright. So I don't know if he's gonna
make it a later episode where he needs to find a maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, that was sad.
That was sad, deep, and they did it really well.
Okay, so it wasn't, it was one of the better crossovers, was it?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mind the last one because the last crossover they had the Dominators, yeah, and then in the Legends of Tomorrow episode prior to that crossover episode, they were back again.
Okay.
But yeah, it was interesting. It was good. I just didn't like the whole idea that they needed to get the Supergirl's heart. I thought like I was just in my head. I'd think like if you're having such trouble with Earth 1 getting Supergirl's heart, why don't you just go to Earth 5 and get that Supergirl's heart instead?
True.
Are you caught up on Arrow?
I think so.
Oh yeah, no superheroes in this episode, yeah.
Oh shit, yeah, I completely forgot. Sorry, so I was just say one thing, and then we can leave this.
Just say it, it's fine, yeah.
So, I saw on Twitter that Roy Harper's coming back to Arrow.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know if he's permanent or if...
Well, he's finished, because basically he was in Teen Wolf, and he was a key character, like he was in Arrow for like first 2 seasons, and then he would dip in and out, and then they had the finale, and they got all like the old characters back, and Roy made an appearance in it, so I'm wondering if he'll do the same. Because that's another thing in Arrow, Thea's still alive.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one coming. I thought she was dead, if I'm honest. I didn't realise she was in hospital.
She was in coma, yeah.
Oh.
They showed that like the first episode.
Did they? I must have missed that bit. Like, honestly. I was like, when she appeared, I was like, what? I was like, what's happening here? But fair enough.
I heard a major spoiler for Walking Dead.
Oh, I haven't even caught up, and mate, the weather episode's behind, so go for it. Spoil it.
Apparently it's terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, spoilers for Walking Dead, which I haven't seen, I just read it.
Oh, is this about Carl?
They kill Carl.
That's mad.
And he's like
I read that.
the most important part of the comics and stuff.
Well, did you read why?
Well, yeah, because they wanted Rick to have a motivation to not kill Negan or something, because that's Carl's last thing to say. It's like, don't kill him or something. I mean, I don't really know the context, but...
So basically, in the comics, like, spoiler, so if you watch Walking Dead...
Hey, Ollie, don't listen to this.
You just got to skip the next 10 minutes, I think, or 5 minutes, because this will spoil it. So in the comic books, Rick wins the little war with Negan, he captures Negan, and he puts Negan in a cell. He doesn't kill him.
Why? They kill everyone else.
Because he's got the mentality that Negan's people won't listen to Rick, so he needs Negan to somehow, like, almost persuade them, or... This is what I briefly read, so, like, or... He's got to show like almost dominance to him, and then there's a few points where Negan can actually kill Rick, but instead saves Rick, I believe, in the comics. So I don't know if I haven't read further, but I don't know if there's like a partnership between them in the end. Because in reality, like Negan, he's a dictator, isn't he? But he wants everyone to be safe under his dictatorship and just do what he says. While Rick is a dictator as well, but gives them a bit more free reign, doesn't he? Kind of thing. So I suppose they go hand in hand, but Carl is still alive in the comics. So the only reason they killed him off because no one likes him in the film, in the TV series, I think.
No, apparently it was because Carl. Yeah, it's because apparently the showrunner, I think it's Robert Kirkman.
Yeah,
was like he couldn't think of a way to kind of realistically have Rick not kill Negan, but then apparently I think one of Carl's last things is, oh yeah, you don't need to kill him or whatever. So then that's his motivation. But then apparently, like, it came as a shock to everyone in the cast.
Yeah,
like,
apparently.
Like Chandler Riggs, who plays Carl, it was just like, yeah, sorry, you're not in the next bit. And he's like, what? Like...
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently it's terrible at the moment.
Apparently his dad was fuming. Like, when he found out. Like, he was absolutely fuming. Because you think about it like this, yeah. if the comic books are still going, the comic books are like a season or two ahead of the TV series. He's in a season or two, but then it's like saying that woman, the blonde woman who was really key in the
Adriana,
yeah, she's meant to be still alive, or she was up to a point further than she was in the TV series. Because the fans didn't like her, they killed her off. So
True. But then they were like grooming him for leadership, weren't they? So
you can move all that.
that's right.
Yes. Well, it's I wouldn't have liked him to take over personally, but then would I like Maggie to take over? Is it Maggie?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd
It's
like
just
her to
getting a
take
bit-
over.
it's getting
Like,
a
there's
bit
no,
stale, man.
there's. I like Maggie is. If you're gonna choose someone at this point, it's Maggie for me to take over. But realistically, there is no character which I think can strongly take over from Rick at this point in time.
Mm.
And I think that's their key problem.
I think Abraham could have, but they killed him off.
And I think Glenn could have, but they killed him off.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I think, and it's like I said, I think I said this when the season first started this year or last year. I've said it's gonna run out of steam, and it's done it sooner than I thought it would.
Yeah.
But had I watched this first, I watched that first episode. I said it wasn't very good, and I watched the second episode. I think there was one episode which was all right, and then someone told me about another episode where you're just like, oh my god, what just happened? I think it's like the people are trying to kill Ezekiel. He's a guy with a tiger, and they get ambushed, and all his people jump on top of him to save him, and they all die. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, that is mad dedication. But yeah, I mean, I will watch it. When it must be on its break soon. So
Yeah, that's the mid-season.
When I have my few days off, I'll try and catch up with that as well. But
and we'll see what Ollie thinks.
There's more important stuff to watch, like Supernatural.
I can't believe that's still going.
Oh, it's so good. I love it.
But let's talk about a current film, one which is probably going to be in the hunt for some Oscars, which is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, just off the A4. Oh no, sorry, I made that last bit up. Anyway, tell us about it.
You want to take this one?
Sure. So yeah, it's a film about a woman whose daughter has been murdered. Brief. So I'll try and do a brief synopsis and then we can go into.
No, but you got to do that bit. You got to say the exact bit. What's happened to the daughter right there?
Yeah. So, her daughter was raped, murdered, and burnt alive. And basically, it's been 7 months since this has happened, and the case hasn't been solved. And basically, this is about this woman trying to put pressure on the police to solve her daughter's case. So, I think it pretty much starts with her seeing these 3 billboards that nobody uses, and then she goes to this advertising company and she's like, yeah, how much? And he says, oh yeah, it's $5,000 a month for however, and asks how long you want to rent it out. She says for the rest of the year, and yeah, so she rents out the billboards.
Doesn't she go, I assume I can't say fuck, shit, piss, cunt, and he's like, an ass.
Anal, he says that anal.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, that happens, and so she writes on the billboard. She writes, oh crap, what does she write? She writes, raped while dying. That's on one billboard, and then what does the other one say? One of them says, crap, I can't remember what it says.
One of them calls out the police.
Yeah, Chief Willoughby. Yeah, so we just looked it up, and basically, so one of them says raped while dying. The other one says still no arrests, and the third one says how come Chief Willoughby? And basically, I'm assuming this is quite a police-friendly town. So most of the the media and just general citizens are against this woman because she's called out the chief of police, which is Woody Harrelson's character, Chief Willoughby. And there's one guy, the dentist. I don't know if the dentist was going to do anything, but the dentist seemed
very sinister.
Yeah, the dentist seemed very because he was she was going to check up, yeah. And he was saying, oh yeah, the tooth's got to come out or something like that. She was like, are you going to check on it first? He's like, no, it's just got to come out. So he gets his drill, and she's like, are you going to numb it first? And he's like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Gives her the injection of whatever, anaesthetic, and then he's like, okay, I have to wait a couple of minutes. Literally waits about 10 seconds, and he's like, yeah, okay, we're going to... And then he literally starts to talk about Chief Willoughby, and then she's like, okay, this isn't right, and she gets the teeth drill thing and drills his thumbnail, and then he's all crying in the corner. She gets the water and spits it on his face and walks out of the dentist office. That was pretty funny.
She also when they come to get her later on, the police come to get her, and they're like, were you at the dentist earlier today? And she's like, no, I wasn't there.
Yeah. and then another guy just walks into the shop, and
that was so weird.
Yeah, and basically just threatens to kill her, basically. But then someone walks into the shop before anything can happen. But sorry, I'm skipping ahead. So, Chief, sorry, because you probably want to watch it, innit?
I will watch it, but it's fine.
Sure?
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
It doesn't come out till like mid-January, so.
Oh, okay. So Chief Willoughby has cancer, which is one of the reasons also why people were like, why are you calling him out like this man's? Because the town, it's like a known secret sort of thing. So most of the town knows. So people are like, oh yeah, why are you calling him out? This guy's a dying man, blah blah blah. And she's like, it wouldn't make much sense calling you out after you're dead. And so, so he goes through like his little story, which is neither here nor there. I mean, I guess it's pretty important to the rest of the storyline. But he's like basically spending time with his wife and his kid before he, kicks the bucket because he's got pancreatic cancer, so like it's terminal. And he has like a really nice day with his kids and his wife, and then he kills himself and leaves a note for his wife. He leaves a note for the main actress. I can't. What's her name? Mildred.
Yeah.
Mildred.
Yeah.
And he leaves a note for one of the police.
Did he actually leave that note, or did she make that note?
Who?
Mildred.
What, for the police guy?
I thought she made it for him, put it there so he could read it, and then she set him up so she could throw the fire.
No, because the police station rang him before, and they're like, yeah, he left you.
Yeah, but I thought she put it in there.
What, to kill him?
Yeah, to set him up so she could terrorise him.
No, because why would she intentionally want to kill him?
But she wanted to terrorise him, didn't she?
Not kill him, though.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
You bombed the police station.
Yeah, but I thought she put I thought she set it up so the letter was in there, so he would be there at that time. And then she thought, obviously she didn't realise he had the headphones on. So when she was bombarding it with fire, she thought he would just rock out, didn't she? Instead, he ran through a window.
That's not what I got.
No, I do not.
The thing I got from her was that she didn't know that he was in there.
Oh, really?
Because when he came out of the building, she looked really shocked.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know. I might be completely wrong.
I probably am, to be fair.
So yeah, there's this policeman basically,
fucking
street
nuts,
cop, and
mate.
he's like an idiot, like an absolute moron. And they mentioned briefly about him torturing a black guy for something.
Basically unnecessary torture.
Yeah, unnecessary torture. And when Mildred gets caught by the police, he like comes to interrogate whatever, and she says, "Oh, you done torturing N-words?" And he was like, "Oh, we can't say N-words anymore. We have to say torturing people of colour." And then they have this argument about the PCness of using the N-word versus saying people of colour, rather than talking about the actual torturing of these people. And yeah, that whole whatever spiel happens. So I'm trying to think what happens after that. So yeah, basically this town's all against this woman, and like she like rolls up to his son's like begging her to take it down, because obviously he doesn't, apart from the fact like I'm assuming he's getting like abused for all of this.
Yeah.
He's being reminded, like, because they have to drive past that building every day, so he's reminded of the fact how his sister was murdered. And it just goes through like different aspects of this woman's life and how people are reacting to this. So like they show her ex-husband, who apparently used to beat her. We don't see it, but you can get a kind of gist that she did. And how he reacts to obviously his daughter dying, and their kind of like strained relationship together.
The relationship between her and her daughter, which seemed like her daughter was going through puberty and being quite aggressive about the way she wanted stuff to go, kind of thing, and the mum wasn't really taking any shit. Are you going to say about the funny scene?
Oh, you can go on.
No, because I'll mess it up again.
Is it a comedy or is it a drama or is it a drama?
I would say it's a drama with comedic moments in it.
Okay. I agree.
Yeah. So
definitely heavier on the drama. There's only brief moments of comedy.
Yeah, definitely. So there's one joke that we will, like pretty much everyone was cracking
so
up
funny.
at. Is that so there was a flashback of the mum, the son, and the daughter all arguing, and the son calls his sister a cunt, and and then the mum goes, "There'll be no more cunts in this house," and the son goes, "Why are you moving out?" And it's like, we all the whole cinema was cracking up. It was very funny. But basically the policemen are all trying to get the advertising people to take the billboards down, and they're trying to get the Mill and Mildred to take the billboards down because they're like, you know, they're taking the piss out of the police basically.
As well as that, and as well as Mr. Chief Willoughby trying to actually solve the case. But
okay, so they are. I was going to say, do they actually try and solve this case?
He's trying to, but it does seem like it's difficult because there's no leads, no evidence, no nothing. Because she's a girl who's gone out of the house with someone somewhere, and no one knows where she went.
It does seem like it seemed like a lost cause. So, yeah, after Chief Willoughby kills himself, people kind of jump to the conclusion that he did it because of these billboards. So this policeman, the absolute idiot policeman, walks across the road to the advertising company and beats up the manager of the place. I'm guessing he's the manager.
Throws him out
a window, and just walks about and carries on with his day. And then the new chief police that comes into the place, Willoughby, fires him, understandably so. And this guy's like kind of like shocked that he's getting like fired, and he's like ringing up saying, "Oh, do you know when I'm going to get my job back?" And doing that, I'm like, "Well, you're not going to."
Yeah.
You literally you could get done for like attempted murder. So
he almost has a redemption-esque kind of moment.
Almost.
Yeah.
So when he goes back to the police station to get this letter that Chief Willoughby wrote for him before he committed suicide. And whilst he's reading the letter, like I said a minute ago, whilst he's reading the letter, someone burnt down the billboards after Chief Willoughby died. And I think Mildred like kind of wanted to like get revenge sort of thing. So she's like in the advertising company across the street, and whilst the policeman is in there reading this letter that Willoughby wrote him, she's like chucking firebombs at the police station, basically setting the police station on fire. And then basically, what's his face? The policeman gets all burnt and shit, and then he's in the hospital. And he's like all wrapped up in gauze and whatnot. And the person in the bed next to him is the guy who he threw out the window. And the guy who he threw out the window didn't know that it was him. But so he was like being really nice to him, saying, "Oh yes, okay, like do you want some orange juice, and like you need to stop moving, so otherwise it will hurt it'll fuck up your injuries and stuff like that." And then he says like, "I'm sorry." The policeman says, "I'm sorry," and he's like, "What are you sorry for?" And then he like realizes that it's the policeman that chucked him in the window. And he's still like, obviously he still gives him like orange juice and that, and you can tell he's really like pissed off and like just like angry, but he kind of just like turns away sort of thing. And then the policeman starts crying, and so you see him kind of like make a turn in the film from that point, because there was this point in the film where Chief Willoughby was talking to Mildred about why they hadn't caught anyone yet, and he was basically saying like sometimes when you're investigating these murders, you just get lucky. Like some random person will brag about it to his mate, and someone will over here, and that'll get passed on to someone, which will get passed on to us, and then we'll be able to solve the case. But that hasn't happened yet. Like we've got nothing to go on. And so the burnt policeman, after he's come out of hospital, he's in a bar, and he hears a guy basically talking about raping and torturing a girl the same way that the daughter died. So he assumes that it's the same geezer. So he intentionally gets this guy pissed off, and I think he like scratches his. He scratches
his face to get skin follicles on his nails.
Yeah, exactly. And then the guy's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And starts beating him up. So like proper beating him up. And so he gets like all his DNA all over his face and all stuff like that, so that he can then like take samples and send it to the lab and see if it comes back as a positive match. He tells Mildred that, "Oh, I think I found the guy," and then she gets kind of like she has a bit of hope for a minute. But then the results come back, finds out that it's not him because this guy was like overseas. I think he was in the army or something. He was like overseas doing whatever. But the policeman is like, "Well, this guy still raped and murdered somebody, so he's got to go down for something." But then the police chief's like, "We can't because we're not investigating that murder. It's got to be about something else." So then he has to break the news to Mildred that it's not the guy, but he says, "Well, this guy is a murderer anyway." And then he says, "I've got his address. I know where he lives." He's like, lives in, was it Idaho?
Yeah, like quite far away.
In Idaho. And then Mildred's like, "Oh, that's funny. I was driving to Idaho in the morning." And he was like, "Do you want some company?" He's like, "Yeah." So then next morning they pack up and drive to Idaho. And then they're like kind of like have doubts. They're like, "Oh, are you sure about killing this guy?" And he's like, "Not really. Are you?" And he was like, "Nah." He was like, "Okay, we'll decide on the way there." And then it ends.
So they don't solve the crime?
No.
Oh.
I kind of like that they didn't know.
So do I.
Like, it had that been the right person that he overheard, that would have been fine as well.
That would have annoyed me. That would have been too Deus Ex Machina. Like.
Okay, well, I would have been fine with it because that's, I think, the normal strand of how a film goes. But is this based on a true story?
Not I'm aware of.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I thought the ending was pretty good actually, because it kind of showed and in the car they discussed how she was like, I'm really sorry, and he was like, what for? And she was like, she was like, sorry about the police station. He was like, who else would have done it?
Yeah.
Like he knew already it was her, but he just was like, he thought it was his comeuppance for other things kind of thing. And then she felt so shitty because obviously it was her ex-husband, and
Who was her ex-husband?
the ex-husband burnt down the billboards, but she thought it was the other guy, the policeman. And you thought she was going to batter him over the head with a bottle in the restaurant, but she puts it on the table. And the guy, my God, the girl so the ex-husband's girlfriend is meant to be 17, 18 in the film.
I don't know.
She looks well like Margot Robbie.
Oh.
But she's not.
Nah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That was it.
So, you enjoyed it?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
What would you give it?
8.
Yeah.
And do you think that there's any part of it which would be Oscar worthy? Like the acting from Frances McDormand, or who's she's the main character?
Yeah,
I think her.
Maybe her, yeah. That's
Best
probably
screenplay, was it?
Maybe the guy who played, who's Tyrion? He might. I think like I wouldn't give him one. He may get nominated. He had tiny part.
I'd be shocked if he got nominated.
He had a tiny part.
No.
The only people who she had a main part. For the time Chief Willoughby was in it, he had a main part, and then so the two main characters I would say are probably Mildred and the cop at the end.
Yeah.
They are the two main characters. The son's a secondary character. Willoughby's a main character, but then he's not in it the whole way through.
His wife is a rubbish actress, by the way.
Oh, she is terrible.
She
She was terrible.
No, really?
Yeah. It's got the guy from House of Cards. The guy who's in like Love with Frank. Is it?
Sorry?
What, Meacham?
I think isn't Meacham in it? Isn't he the policeman behind the desk?
What, you mean Doug? No, that's not Doug.
Is that not Doug?
It's not
Oh, sorry.
Doug.
No, that wasn't Doug.
Who is it? I've definitely recognised him from something then.
Oh, he's the one. He's from Heroes. I've seen him in the trailer.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah,
Heroes.
they look similar.
Yeah,
They do
yeah.
look similar.
Yeah, secondary characters. There's like two main characters, a few secondary, and the rest are irrelevant to the whole thing, really.
I do look forward to seeing
the
it.
daughter in the film is, I think, the same girl who plays in Paranormal Activity 4?
I don't know if I've seen that one.
No, is it her? No, it's not. Yeah, it is. She's in Supernatural as well. Yeah, she's literally in it for one scene, like 2 minutes, not even that.
Sounds like a good screen unseen then.
Yes.
Okay, the film received 6 2017 Golden Globe nominations for Best Motion Picture in a Drama, Best Director, Best Actress in a Drama, and Best Supporting Actor for, I'm assuming, The Policeman, and Best Screenplay and Best Original Score.
Actually, I want to wait. Which one did they give the best? That actor one that you said. I wonder if they give it to him or
What, Best Actress, you mean?
No, actor. The
Supporting actor.
Yeah, sorry.
Maybe Woody Harrelson or Sam Rockwell.
Yeah,
right?
but I want to know.
Sam Rockwell.
It was Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, he deserved it. I think he did really well in that. He because he got a bit of his background as well, and his mum's a bit like.
I was Abby Cornish. I think that's fine. I don't like. Abby Cornish is so waste. She's such a crap actress.
What else is she in?
She was in that 6 Days film that we watched. Was she?
Oh yeah, she wasn't. She's just the reporter in it. Yeah.
Well. She was in something else that I watched, and no ratings, mate. No, absolutely.
But yeah, definitely watch it. I know
Okay.
we've spoiled majority of it.
I might
but
forget a lot of it.
Probably will.
I've got a terrible memory. Okay, well, it's almost Christmas, so by the time this will be released, it'll probably be Christmas, so Merry Christmas. Let's do a quick, let's talk about our favourite Christmas films. I know you've seen a couple recently.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, and she was in. Sorry, Abby Cornish was in Geostorm, and that film was fucking awful. So yeah, Abby Cornish is down on my ratings in 2017.
Is Geostorm in
Bloody
any way,
hell.
shape, or form related to Day After Tomorrow?
Yeah, that's small.
Is it related to it?
No.
Oh, because I generally thought it was
No.
going to be, but okay.
No, it's not. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what my favourite Christmas film is. Off the top of my head, I can only think of like a handful, really. I've never really been too in-depth watching.
you've got
Elf,
Home Alone.
Mine's Home Alone.
Elf or Home Alone. That's another thing Disney now have the rights to, Home Alone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, wasn't it a Fox thing?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, they had 4/5 Home Alones, didn't they? The Christmas special, I don't know if you count that as a fifth one. But yeah, I mean, Elf's a pretty good one. Home Alone's pretty good.
Home Alone's good. I don't know. I don't actually think. I don't really like Elf all that much. I mean, it's alright, but I'm not,
It's a classic.
There's one film that I think. I think Bryan Cranston might be in it. best Christmas film. I'm gonna Google it. Which
I remember like a few years back, I watched a film where they were suing Santa, and I cannot remember what the film is, but it was like a whole court thing with Santa, like suing him for some reason. I don't know.
About Bad Santa. That's a good film.
That is a good film. There's number 2 as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
No, I haven't either. Well, I watched Let It Snow and Call Me Claus the other day.
Okay, I've heard of neither of those.
No, neither had I. So Let It Snow, I cannot for the life of me name any of the actors, actresses.
Fair enough. Was it live action or animated?
Live action. And basically, this woman inherits a hotel place, and it's obviously got some kind of magical stuff in it, but she doesn't believe anymore, and she just wants to sell it on. There's a guy there who's a handyman. He doesn't want her to sell it, so he's offering to fix it up for free. Story goes on that she's got a job in, let's say, New York, for example, and this place is really far away, and she's been offered an even better job. And then eventually it turns out that she's going to stay. She's done up the place. She gets back the Christmas spirit. Santa can do his job properly. And it's just like, what the hell? And then, like, she remembers this game that she used to play with her aunt where they used to follow the ribbon or something. And then she can't remember what would happen when they get to the end of the ribbon. And then she does it with this, because this guy's got a daughter. And she does it with a daughter. And then they walk through a wall to go on a slide, and they appear in another part of the house. And I was like, this is definitely like a proper kids film, because I was just not invested in it at all. I do not rate it. I would not recommend it to anyone. Then I watched Call Me Claus, which had is it Goldberg? No, what's her name?
What else is she in?
Sister Act.
Whoopi Goldberg?
Yes, that's the one. I think it's Whoopi Goldberg. Basically, Santa Claus wants her to become the new Santa. And it's this whole thing, like, she's in quite a good job, and then he's, like, an ideal Santa position for this TV company, so he becomes the Santa for them. But Santa's got a contract where he can only be Santa for 200 years, and he has to find someone else. And if he doesn't find someone else, then, the Arctic will just collapse, and then the whole world would be covered in like water and ice. So he has to find someone.
Maybe that's happening in real life.
Maybe.
Because, global warming doesn't exist, so obviously Santa's running out of
That's it,
contract.
exactly. And then all she has to do is put on the hat. But she waits till the very last minute, and then she puts on the hat. It's quite interesting. It's a whole other like perspective, like, because this girl, he knew this girl was going to be like the person to take over from when she was younger, because he would do this, when kids sit on the Santa's lap. And he did that, and he would put the hat on everyone, and if the hat lights up, that's someone who's worthy of becoming the next person. Okay. And she did when she was younger, and then you see it like 15 years later, and this elf is just pestering Santa to like find someone new. Come on, like. So yeah, it was that was much better than the other one.
Okay. What if she put the hat on and it went Gryffindor?
Well, then she would be a fucking wizard, Harry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like Christmas films.
Is that direct line? Yeah. You're a fucking wizard.
Hi, you're a fucking wizard, Harry. I feel like, I don't know if I'm just a Scrooge, but
you are a Scrooge. I can tell you that now. That you definitely are a Scrooge.
Also, The Grinch is a good Christmas film. But Christmas films are so like saccharine sweet. It just makes me sick. Like, it's all so didactic, and it's all about families coming together and being happy. I'm just like, fuck.
What's wrong with it?
Why isn't someone being decapitated?
It's because you're just a weirdo. All you like is thrillers and horrors and stuff like that.
But it's just like...
I mean, if Santa got his head chopped off, then you'd enjoy it.
They're all so formulaic. Like, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because that's what you want over the festive season, but... Like, even like Daddy's Home 2, it was like, family conflict.
I think one of my favourites is Nightmare Before Christmas, actually.
I've not seen that.
Did any of you guys ever watch, if you guys have watched like the Ebenezer Scrooge, them ones, like Christmas Carol and stuff like that, and the Muppets version of it and stuff?
Yeah, the Muppets version is pretty funny, actually.
I was really enjoyed watching those.
Polar Express, that's an alright Christmas film. I remember watching that with my nan when I was like 6 or something,
You watched the one with Tim Allen, where basically he doesn't want to be Santa Claus, but he's like chosen to be next.
It's Santa Claus, isn't it?
Yeah. And he's like growing grey hair, and like
because he knocks him off the roof, doesn't he? Yeah.
And he can't stop growing a beard and stuff like that. Yeah,
there's like 1, 2, and 3 of that, isn't it? Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I quite like and this is definitely my sort of thing, the alternative Christmas ones. So like Bad Santa, the night before, which is the one you've both seen this week. The ones where it's a bit edgier, a bit, I mean, they still follow the same sort of pattern, but they're just aimed at adults. And there's also quite a lot of Christmas horror films that come out. Like, there's one this year, I think it's called Deck the Halls or something, or something like that. And then there's obviously Krampus and things. So. Yeah. What about you?
Oh,
No, so go on.
I was going to say, I was talking about Night Before Christmas. Apparently, Tim Burton's getting the green light for a spin-off series to be made about the dog.
Okay.
Yeah, just throw that one out there for a bit of TV news. But yeah, God knows what's your favourite then? Or did you say at Home Alone?
Yeah, my favourite's probably Home Alone. I really
it's
like
a classic,
I really
isn't it?
like the first two anyway. I mean, the first two are really good.
Didn't they change the kid on the third and fourth?
Yes. Yeah, they did. But yeah, the first two were sick. What else? I don't know. I don't really like I haven't watched like Elf or any of them ones. I don't really watch Christmas films, but I always used to watch Toy Story at Christmas because they always used to be on the BBC.
Narnia's always on as well.
Yeah.
The cartoon.
So yeah, there were certain films that like I find synonymous with Christmas.
But does a Christmas film have to be? I mean, obviously, it has to be set in Christmas. But if a film is partially set in Christmas, is it then a Christmas film?
You say that every year. I'm sure of it. Every year on TV, you have Gulliver's Travels and you have Narnia come on, and I don't see. Well, Narnia is a kind of Christmassy film because snow. But Gulliver's Travels, I wouldn't say that's a Christmas film.
No,
it's always on.
When people say Die Hard's a Christmas film because it's set on like Christmas Eve, isn't it?
Maybe.
That's
I mean, like. You can make any film Christmassy by just adding a bit of snow, really.
Because I was watching the old Jumanji the other day, which I thought was overrated.
Set in Christmas time, isn't it?
Well, yeah, the ending's Christmas, and I was like, "Is this a Christmas film?" And I was like, "Not really, because the Christmas isn't a big part of the narrative." But my girlfriend always watches The Holiday every year. That's like I think it's got like Cameron Diaz and. I think they got Jude Law. They go to a house.
They go to a house.
They fall in love. And Love Actually.
Oh yeah, I do like that film actually.
It's good films, British kind of
love
talent. Yeah,
they did that really well actually. The way they did that film, different people's perspectives on it and whatnot, how they're all interlinked.
They do that they've done a couple of them, haven't they?
Yeah,
the Valentine's Day one.
I'm not sure they've been as successful though.
And then
New Year's
Eve one, yeah. They're not very good.
No, these ensemble pieces don't tend to work. Like, did you ever watch Movie 41 or whatever it's called?
Oh my good god! Yeah,
that was so shit.
That was so bad.
But what did you both think of The Night Before? Had you seen it before?
I hadn't seen it before.
I hadn't seen it before either.
I thought it was decent. So it's the sort of film that I would expect Seth Rogen to be involved in. Yeah. And some of the cameos I see, I'm just like, you guys all just stick together.
Yeah, mates.
Literally, like, they're all just in each other's films. Like,
oh yeah, because James Franco was in it.
Yeah. Raffi from The League is in it. I'm just like, you lot all just stick together.
I was real surprised that I didn't ever I've never seen Anthony Mackie in a role. It was Anthony Mackie, wasn't he? I've never seen him in a role like that before, and he was really good in it actually.
He was a footballer who was taking
steroids. Yeah. And then,
I thought it was so funny, especially when like Seth Rogen's in the church with his fucking Star and
David. Like, we did not do that to Jesus.
No, the thing is as well. Sugar, what's the scene? Yes, Seth Rogen takes Mindy. She's in it, and they swap phones, and he's just getting sent dick pics.
By James
Franco. And he's talking to him as if he wants to.
It's the bit where he was saying that. Oh yeah, I never sucked a dick before. And then James Franco's like, "You're gonna suck one tonight." He goes, "Well, I guess that's settled." Isaac is sucking his first dick tonight. I was literally cracking up. Oh man, that was too funny. But yeah, it's an alright film, but it's got
its comedy in it.
It's got its moments.
Not sure I like the ending. A bit naff in it that he was an angel.
Oh yeah, that was weird. Yeah.
I knew as soon as he said he was having a party tonight, I was like, right, he owns a Christmas cracker ball.
Yeah,
that was too obvious, but then. There you go.
Well, no, it was good though. I like my little Miley Cyrus cameo as well. It was good.
Yeah. No, I mean I watched it whenever it came out in the cinema.
Oh, you have watched it? I thought. Sorry, it's like.
No, I saw it in the cinema like 2 years ago or whatever. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
I think Seth Rogen, like, anything he does is hilarious.
Yeah.
Apart from
50-50 is not.
No, that was one. I mean, just like I like most of his films, apart from. Green Lantern. No, Green Hornet.
Yeah.
And then I also started watching the one where he has with Barbara Streisand. It's like they go on like a family vacation.
I thought you were talking about more serious roles. Like 50-50 is his like most serious one I've seen him in.
Yeah.
Still with comedy in it though.
But yeah, I'd like to gross out comedy around setting Christmas time. But yeah, but yeah, talking of Jumanji, I watched the old one, and I'd seen it when I was little, but I didn't remember it. I wanted to watch it before the new one came out. Although I don't know how related they are.
Yeah, they're a little bit related.
Okay.
There's a few reference back to the old one.
But I just felt like I thought the graphics were quite good for the year it was made, like 95. You know, like the monkeys looked terrible, but the rhinos and all the other animals looked fairly well rendered and.
Strangely enough, well, not strangely, but the animation in the new one isn't actually like for the animal stuff. Isn't actually that great.
Really?
No.
Okay.
There are rhinos and hippos and stuff, and it kind of looks a bit.
I've noticed like that the more they try and CGI animals, the more they are getting like features right, but they just don't fit the scene around them. So like three billboards, for example.
The deer. Well fake.
But like the features on it were like, yeah, that's a deer. And it was really, really nice features, but it just didn't fit the scene.
Yeah.
Like
well out of place.
Yeah, and I think they do that with a lot of films now. Like so if we go through Jumanji as an example, like they weren't high tech CGI advancements, but they could probably pull off an animal somewhere better than what we can now. Because I think we try and CGI it and try and do the motions of them all so much that we actually forget it doesn't look right in that scene. You're better off actually filming a deer with a green screen or something. I mean, I don't know how animal rightsy it is to do that, but like, it's like, and again, another example would probably be what's that film where they
they hit a deer in Get Out, don't they?
That's the one I was thinking of. Get Out, yeah.
Actually, there's been a lot of deer hittings this year because there's also one in A Cure for Wellness. Deers
I wanted to watch that actually. But yeah, I just sometimes I do just think like, and I have said this before, I just don't think they watch back their films sometimes. Because if you watch back on some of these films and you see bits that are crap, you've got time to edit them. But
maybe they don't have the personnel to make them good. But I mean, like in Jumanji, like the monkeys look shit, the spiders look shit, the bats look shit, but the elephants and all that looked alright. And then there was a lion, and I couldn't tell if the lion was real or if it was CGI. I mean, it's probably a bit of both, but that's probably a good thing. That's a good thing, yeah. But I just felt like, so obviously the kid finds the board game, they play it, and then he gets sucked in to the jungle, and then Kirsten Dunst and her brother then play it, and he gets released. But I kind of felt like there was just no development at all. It was just one set piece to another set piece. You know, like they'll roll the dice, the animals will come out, they'll have to move the board game to another location, they'll roll again, repeat. And I got a bit tired of it, to be honest. Like, I think the idea of the game coming to life is really interesting, but they didn't kind of dwell on any of it long enough for me. And it was really annoying. I was just like, if you want this stuff to stop happening, just stop, like, fucking roll again. And they just kept, like, picking up the board, moving it somewhere else. And yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was really, like, over very quickly, each kind of set piece. And I'd like to have seen what Robin Williams was doing in the jungle, because there's that other kind of British hunter who kind of comes after him and starts shooting him. And I was like, why is he doing this? They're obviously enemies, but why?
Yeah.
Quite a game.
I know, but the game wasn't really explained very well. Like, why were all these animals coming to life and everything? Like, I assume the board game is magical, but it was just kind of, oh yeah, this is what happens. All these animals come and the vines and everything. And I was like, eh.
Have you seen Safura?
Yeah, but I can't remember much about it. But yeah, I mean, obviously for a kids' film, you know, it's entertaining and action and blah blah blah. So for kids, I'm sure it's fine. But for me, I was a bit like, yeah.
Fair enough.
But I don't know, like, how does it... Do you remember the old Jumanji enough to compare it to the new one?
Not really, but I do remember really enjoying the old one. Obviously, I haven't watched it in years, so I can't remember. But I also enjoyed the new one, so, you know, I was probably about on par with each other. I would like to actually watch the old one again. I think it was on Sky Movies, so I will try and give it a watch. But, yeah, I just remember enjoying it. Like, I don't know. Obviously, like, because it's a film that I look back quite fondly on, so when you think about films like that, I think, oh yeah, I really enjoyed it then, so it must be really good. And then you watch it again, and it just doesn't hold up. So
yeah, that happened with Click. I used to really like Click, and I rewatched it. I was like, this is terrible.
So maybe I shouldn't watch it because it might ruin it for me.
Yeah, maybe.
But
you've written that Almost Christmas. So what's that?
So that's a film. Excuse me. That is a film starring Danny Glover. It's basically about a man and his wife. They had 4 kids, and basically this Christmas that they're having is the first one. Danny Glover's wife dies, and the Christmas that is preceding the film is the first one since the wife has died. And basically, he's getting all his kids and grandkids and his sister-in-law all together in their family house and trying to get them to be civil with each other and not like cause loads of shit for 5 days up until Christmas, so they can say like, oh yeah, we managed to do this without the mum, and then they can try and be happy. So there's 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls. One of them is an accident child, so he's like a lot younger than the rest of them. And then the 2 girls don't get on with each other, and the oldest man is a politician. So he's like, so when he comes back to the house, he's like spending all his time like campaigning and not hanging out with children. And basically, his campaign manager gets him to back a scheme, whatever, that is shutting down quite a poor area of the neighborhood, which is in Alabama, I think. A poor area of the neighborhood which contains a homeless shelter that his mum worked at and stayed at when she was young. So the dad's obviously like, what the fuck are you doing, sort of thing. So he kind of like goes through this I'll try and go through the children one by one. He kind of goes through this conflict, saying like, oh, they're going to tear it down anyway, so they might as well have my name behind it, because I'll try and make sure that they build it back up and it will help increase my voter popularity ratings, whatnot. And yeah, his dad's like, that's bullshit. And basically he's like, okay, and he sorts it out in the end, so they don't tear it down. Then the oldest daughter, she's a dentist. She is married to a former basketball player, but he was a pretty crappy one. And he's like, but he's really arrogant. He like had like 1 year in the NBA, and then he moved to Croatia to play basketball. And he's like really arrogant about it, and he like gives out his own like trading cards and stuff like that. And he's just a bit of a bellend. And he cheats on this girl with he cheats on the woman with a girl who works at the supermarket, but because the girl who knew who he was, basically, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm a big fan of the whatever NBA team he played for. So yeah, he sleeps with her, and one of the other sisters finds out. So the 2 sisters don't get on at all. I'm not really sure why they don't get on. They don't really kind of delve into it, but basically they're always like having little digs at each other, and they don't really speak. So that woman, she's a bit down on her luck. She seems like a person who is always she always wants to be something else. Like, she doesn't stick with anything for very long. So she's like, she's trained to be a lawyer at the minute, but she's got like no money, so she might have to drop out of school. And yeah, basically the other sister keeps having digs at her. And when she finds out that her sister's being cheated on, she invites the girl to Christmas dinner.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then so there's that, and then there's the youngest son, who is, I think he might be like 19, 20. He's in college, and at the beginning of the film they show him, he's like fucked up his shoulder, but he's alright now. The coach says, yeah, you can come off your medication, but you can they kind of show that he's still taking his medication as kind of like a way to deal with the pain of his mum dying, because he hasn't really dealt with it properly. So yeah, there's that. And then throughout the film, the dad's like, the mum had this like amazing sweet potato pie, I think it was, and the dad can't quite get the recipe right, so he's like spending the whole film trying to make this pie and make it so that it tastes just like his wife's used to taste. And yeah, so basically they just all go through like, trials and tribulations of a dysfunctional family, and they do like a family football game, and they all start fighting each other for real and all sorts of stuff like that. But yeah, they all get together in the end, so it's not too bad. But Christmas Day is kind of it's really funny actually, because so the daughter who invited the mistress to Christmas dinner, she kind of like tries to backtrack on it, so she leaves her voicemail saying like, yeah, don't come. But the girl doesn't listen to her voicemail, so she comes anyway. And then the husband's there, and he's like trying to hide from her. So like he goes to the kitchen, and then his wife drags him back out, and like they both sit down, they're sitting next to each other, and like so he's got the husband's there, the wife's there, and then the mistress is next to the wife, and like no one knows yet that this mistress is the guy's side piece. So like, and she hasn't noticed that he's here yet, because she doesn't know that the guy's married. So the wife is like moving forward, like to like grab potatoes and serve people. And when she moves forward, he moves forward, and when she was actually like, to the mistress can't see him, so he's like moving with her. So that was really funny. But yeah, so they find out that the guy's been cheating on her, and basically the wife goes nuts, goes upstairs, gets a shotgun.
God.
Gets a shotgun, threatens to shoot him. Doesn't shoot him in the end, but then he clears off. So yeah, it's there's a few funny moments in it, but it's not a great film. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah.
Oh,
No.
sounded alright.
It's decent, but it's not it's not something up there with my favourite Christmas films. I'll probably give it like a 6.5, 7.
Not an uplifting Christmas film.
No, not really. It was alright.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk about from the archive, I guess, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Lovely. Didn't Ollie do Ace Ventura as a...
He did the other one, didn't he?
Did he? Okay.
Oh, did he do Ace? Oh, maybe he did. I can't remember.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, okay.
Just do it. Go on.
Well,
We don't do archives enough.
yeah.
Well, either you do it or I do Avengers, and we didn't want to talk about serial heroes.
Superheroes.
But can I
I could
just
always
say-
make the accountant. I'm going to talk about the accountant as well. We can do that.
Okay, but can I just say the Avengers, yeah, so sick.
It's great.
Sick.
Great.
And would you class as an iconic scene the scene where they're all standing around in a circle together?
Yeah, and it pans around
Yeah.
them.
That's the point where I was like, yeah, this film's
Shivers,
fucking
mate.
sick. This film is
Shivers.
fucking fantastic.
Okay, I feel like Ollie did do Ace Ventura, which is probably why I watched it. I fucking hated it.
Oh, I wasn't expecting
Jim
that.
Carrey is so annoying. Like, everything he says is like the smarmiest thing. He's like, alrighty then.
Does
Like,
it make
oh
it
my
worse
God.
now that you know each of these films is based on how he's feeling at the time and
No,
the
I
fact
just
that he
hated it.
embodies the role? Because apparently I tagged Glenn in something. So you know we watched that thing about
Yeah.
making a van. No,
Jim and Andy.
Jim and Andy. Apparently there's someone did this little like news article about making the Grinch, and apparently Jim Carrey was just as nuts making the Grinch and stuff. Like, could you
What
imagine
you
that?
tagged me in was a parody.
Was it a parody?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Oh,
Because
okay.
most of that footage was from.
Yeah, but did you read the actual article?
No, I thought it was a parody.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was a parody.
I don't know.
Because I never remember him. Well, obviously you're not going to remember him biting off someone's nose and
No.
anything. But yeah, I thought if that was a real thing and someone had written about it.
It could be.
Yeah. But anyway, Karen,
But
sorry.
it just found like everything he said was so annoying. He didn't say anything seriously, and I didn't really find it very funny. And I thought Courtney Cox wasn't particularly good in it. Like, everyone was just underused and bad acting, and yeah, I really did not like it.
Well, that would have been a terrible one for the archive, mate. That's all I'm saying.
Well, then I'll talk about The Accountant.
Fantastic.
Because I really enjoyed that film. So, The Accountant is about a accountant with Asperger's, or I think he's got autism, like a higher form of autism. So basically, you see him as a kid. He has to finish what he starts. He isn't very good at socializing, and he kind of has this mantra which helps calm him down in that stressful situation. He says, it's a poem. I can't remember all of it. It's something about something on a Monday, something on Tuesday. I thought it was Craig David, but it's not. Anyway, so like he becomes this accountant, and he basically cooks the books for drug dealers and stuff. Like, they get him in, and he kind of sorts their accounts out, and he gets paid very well for it, and he also gets like donated like really rare items like art or comics and stuff.
But he does also do normal.
Yeah, so
accounting
he has to have legitimate clients. Obviously, just to keep his kind of business looking legit. Have you seen it?
No.
Are you gonna? Is it something you're interested in?
Yeah, but you can just talk about it. I don't really.
Well, I'll try and avoid spoilers. But essentially, so you follow him. Like, he just looks like a normal accountant. He gets hired as a contractor by John Lithgow, who is the owner of a robotics company, I think called like Living Robotics. Because this one of their like accounts people, played by Anna Kendrick, has discovered this like anomaly, and so obviously John Lithgow wants to find out if someone's been taking money. So Ben Affleck kind of searches through 15 years worth of archives overnight. Like, he's this like prodigy, like, you know, he's like really good at his job, and finds the anomaly, and then basically like he's like really happy and tells Anna, and you see his like fledgling kind of relationship with Anna Kendrick. Like, he's really awkward, but like it's quite sweet in a way, like the way that they
Kind of bounce off each other, don't they, a little bit as well?
Yeah,
Or more.
They're
her
both
off him.
socially awkward, but his is kind of like a mental kind of,
Yeah.
not deficiency, but you know.
He also was
illness.
brought up in a different way to
Yeah, so
not
like
really emulate his. Well, yeah, didn't. Well,
So his dad was like an army colonel, and like made sure that, like, because he used to get bullied a lot as a kid. Like, he was like sending him to like martial arts classes and stuff, and he had a brother who never spoke.
Because
saw a twist coming.
Did you?
his
Yeah.
brother who never spoke. Why?
You just in the flashbacks he just doesn't speak really.
Oh.
There wasn't any reason for it.
Oh,
I
I
don't
thought
think.
so. It's not like a physical.
No.
Okay.
But yeah. So then, you also follow John Bernthal's character, who basically is like a private security guy, and he roughs up people who are shorting certain accounts, and basically he's protecting his client's interests. So his client will hire him and say, look, we don't want this guy to keep bad mouthing our stock and making it worthless, so he'll go and beat him up. And eventually John Bernthal gets hired by John Lithgow to kind of stop Anna Kendrick and Ben Affleck. So Ben Affleck plays Christian Wolf and Anna Kendrick plays Dana, I think her name is.
Been so
To
long.
stop them from digging even further, because I think it was one of these. So turns out John Lithgow wanted to float his company on the stock market, and he couldn't have any irregularities. But Ben Affleck was going a bit further and trying to dig as to like what the illegality behind all these payments were, and it was somehow linked to John Lithgow. So then there's like ends up being a kind of conflict between them, and I just thought. I was really surprised by it. Like, on the face of it just sounds like a really dull concept. Like, an accountant who is really good with weapons. It just sort of was a bit nonsensical to me. But it was really entertaining. And there's another subplot where this kind of tax investigator is trying to uncover Ben Affleck because of his connections to, like, drug lords and stuff. And, yeah, I mean... You don't really need to know much about finance to understand it. Okay. The plot is a little bit complex, but it does make sense at the end.
It's on Netflix?
No, I don't think so. I watched it on DVD, but yeah, I was really entertained by it. I think Ben Affleck plays it quite well. I mean, I don't know many autistic people, so I don't know how true to kind of the depiction he is. But yeah, he played it really well, like quite understated, and the action was good. The plot twists were decent. So yeah, I would thoroughly recommend it. I was really pleasantly surprised by it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might give it a watch. I can be bothered.
Yeah, definitely.
There's apparently meant to be an accountant too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll probably watch that, but it's a bit...
Is it a film that seemed like it could have a sequel?
I mean, it could have a sequel. I don't really think it necessarily needs one. It would just be the same, more of the same.
Yeah.
It's one of those films which, contained on its own, would probably work quite well. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, unless there's anything else you two want to discuss, we can leave it there for a Christmas little special there. So
I feel like we didn't do a good job of making it a Christmas special.
Because none of us can fucking think of any Christmas films.
I feel like we should have talked about something. I don't know. Is there anything else Christmas related we can talk about? Like, I don't know. Do you guys have any like Christmas traditions or anything like that? I don't know.
I tend to go around my dad's and play poker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you win?
I have won before, yeah.
How much
Because he always collects like pennies throughout the year and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll play with them, and then he'll say like, the winner will get like 50 quid or something. And last year he made us, because we were all working, he made us pay in to buy the chips. I was like,
fair enough. That's fair.
Yeah.
But I ended up, I think my sister Rachel won. So she was like, she won like 50 quid, and I was like gutted. I lost like £10 of my own money on Christmas Day. But yeah, I quite like that tradition.
We all have a tradition together
Yes,
though, don't
we
we?
do. Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Down the
How
White
many years in a
Horse.
row? How many years running?
Since we were 18, so...
Not just down the White Horse though, wearing a
uh,
Christmas jumper.
True.
Oh, yeah.
So is that what, 5 years?
5
Must
years
be.
or so.
Yeah?
That's not bad.
We're all going to be there, right?
Did you guys ever Connor's here, by the way.
Connor's
He's making
here.
himself
Connor,
unknown.
Connor, what's your favourite Christmas film? Welcome to the podcast.
My favourite Christmas film? That's a good question.
Speak up, Con.
In it, they got to catch your voice. This is Connor, honorary member.
I didn't expect this. I walked in, I'm not gonna lie.
Because we're in like a really high tech studio, and like Connor's obviously really famous, so we're just like, hey Connor.
Just so happens to be walking by.
It's definitely not Chris's bedroom.
That's definitely The Grinch.
The Grinch.
Yeah, even though it's kind of like an anti-Christmas film,
Okay.
I quite like it.
Are you a bit of a Scrooge?
I'm not a Scrooge, but I think he's, he does actually like Christmas in the end, doesn't he? It's not like he enjoys Christmas
Yeah.
at the end.
Okay.
It's not like a Scrooge film, but it is. It's just a good film. Jim Carrey's quite good in it.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever believe in Santa?
Yeah.
When did you stop believing in him?
Do you know what? There was a year where I called my mum out on it because I stayed up and I was like, I saw you come into my room last night, Anyway, my siblings were really young.
You're such a Bruno.
And
That's so typical you. Sorry, carry on.
and anyway, somehow she managed to convince me that I was wrong.
Okay.
But then the next year I did the exact same thing. I was like, nah, you fucking lied to me. I was like, he doesn't exist. And she was like, you got to maintain it for your siblings. I was like, fine. I was like, bet the fucking Tooth Fairy doesn't exist either, does she? But no, so my whole world came crashing down at the age of 21.
That is typical you.
Nah, I think I was like 9.
Okay.
I was 10 because someone in the playground said they had and I was 9 or 10, and someone in the playground was like, "There's a secret about Christmas." I was like, "What is it?" And he's like, "I can't tell you." And I was like, "I want to know." So I kept asking my mum, and she was like, "You don't want to know?" So I do, and then she told me, and I was gutted.
Parents spend the first decade of your life lying to you.
For good reason.
Really?
So, for your own benefit.
Did you ever believe in Santa?
I actually can't remember a time when I did.
I don't think I believed in Santa either. My parents made it known for a fact that Santa didn't buy you these presents. I bought you these presents.
That's such your families.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, fair enough.
But then I'm like,
this is not real. I never had a chimney. So
you never had a chimney?
No. So where was it going to come? Through the front door.
Through the kettle,
Poor
innit?
childhood, man.
Through the kettle.
Yeah,
Through the kettle.
through the sink, innit? Yeah.
It's quite an insidious feeling to have an old man come into your room and give you presents for like being good. Like, kind of, he's a bit of a paedophile, isn't he?
Any
really?
other day of the year, that would be paedophilia case.
Yeah.
Called to the police, but not on Christmas.
But then I don't know. When I have kids, do I tell them about Santa? I'm like, saves me basically money by telling them they don't exist. Because you got to buy presents from Santa and from mum and dad, don't you? So
I actually think it's in your best interest to tell them that you are the one buying them presents, and that
Yeah.
if they're naughty, they're not going to get presents.
yeah.
So they'll behave to you.
Because
That kind of makes sense.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to be like, oh well, mum and dad, I want this from you, and I want this from Santa, and you could just see them like, fuck, that's so expensive.
Cheap.
Yeah. Although I was so ungrateful as a kid. Like, I've seen home videos where like my parents have been giving me presents. I open it, I'm like, yay, put it aside, open the next one, yay. And you know, I just think they must have spent, fairly bit of money, and I was just don't appreciate it.
I feel like I always really appreciate stuff, but I always used to break stuff. Like I got a Power Rangers Megazord for one Christmas, and I was so happy. I broke it the same day.
Oh my God.
There was like one little piece in the middle that was supposed to be like the chest, and it wouldn't fit, so I literally just went and smacked it, and then it just was like out of place forever. I mean, it still kind of fit together, but it wasn't the same. And I was so upset.
Damn it.
Yeah.
My brother used to bite all the toes and fingers off my action men.
That is super weird.
Yeah.
Strange.
I don't have any toes either because he bit them off. But yeah, he used to do that, so he always used to ruin all my presents.
Do you guys still have turkey on Christmas?
Yeah, I fucking
do.
hate it.
Yeah, I don't get
the
it.
driest thing.
Con? We stopped having turkey like 7 years ago.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good shout.
We were like, does anyone actually like turkey? We were all like, no. So
No.
we
I'm a
stopped
gammon
doing
man myself,
Yeah.
or
it.
chicken,
Yeah, we
or
have gammon,
beef.
chicken, lamb.
I said this
Yeah.
to my mum last year. I was like, why do you get turkey? Like, no one likes it.
Yeah.
She was like, it's a tradition. I was like, I don't care.
Bun tradition.
Make your own traditions, isn't it?
This thing like, I'm always like, yeah, turkey tastes bare dry. And people are like, oh yeah, but if you have it with gravy, and I was like, I don't want to have to soak my meat in gravy for it to taste relatively nice.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather just taste nice on its own. I don't even really like gravy that much either. So.
Do you have to watch the Queen's speech?
My sister loves anything Queen related. My Amuchi, she absolutely loves anything Queen related.
Like
So,
Bohemian Rhapsody.
like when the when the Queen's speech is on, she's literally like, yeah, we have to all watch it.
Oh.
Watch it. It's always that, and then we all watch the EastEnders Christmas episode.
Yeah, that's a tradition.
Yeah, that's a classic.
EastEnders and Doctor Who for me.
Okay.
Like, I used to watch the Queen's speech, and then I was like,
I
no.
don't watch that nonsense.
I kind of broke all those traditions, like going to church Christmas Day. Nope, scrap that.
I go mass the day before. I used to always go on Christmas Day as well, but then when when I went to uni, I stopped going and I started going midnight mass, and now I just go to the one before, so like the 6 o'clock one, and then we go to the pub.
Yeah,
and
pub.
drink and be merry.
That's my favourite tradition. I love that. You're going to be there, right? Christmas
I
Eve?
would definitely be there. Christmas Eve is way better than Christmas these days.
Yeah, it is.
Although last year on Christmas Day I had the worst hangover. It was absolutely disgusting. There was a Christmas also, like I think it might have been the first year of uni or the second year of uni, where I don't know what happened, but when I got home I was literally like, okay, I'm going to turn on my computer so I can watch something, and I just passed out, and I woke up on the middle of Christmas Day, my computer was on the floor, but I had an apple in my hand, and I was like, what the fuck just happened last night? And I had the worst hangover all day. It was disgusting.
Me and my dad go to the pub on Christmas Day morning, and then I go around his in the evening. And Stephen didn't come last year because he was too hungover from Christmas Eve. And then I always watch the Star Wars films with my girlfriend's stepdad, so that's a mini tradition. Any traditions in your household?
Honestly, the morning is literally just me being hungover these days.
This kid is like the worst kid the day after hangover, like day after drinking.
What's non-responsive?
I'm
Yes.
I'm absolutely right. It takes me about 3 hours to open my presents.
Really?
Yeah. I'll like be looking at a pair of socks for like 30 minutes. Like,
Do you lot still get like proper presents? Because I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
This thing,
Cheers,
like,
Mum.
we were talking about this the other day when we went to Cologne. We were talking about it, and Glenn was basically saying how like he doesn't think that anyone should get anyone presents for Christmas. Basically, that he should get himself what he wants.
Yeah.
And the other people should get themselves what they want. And he said that his brother wanted a bin for Christmas.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm not getting you a fucking bin for Christmas."
To be fair, I got him a bin. I got him a bin.
And then you were like, he asked him for a, I think.
iPhone charger.
Yeah,
I was like, well, I want an iPhone charger. So I'll buy me an iPhone charger. You buy you an iPhone charger. Done. Do you know what? The worst thing.
You are the biggest grin.
Worst thing is if I buy him a proper Apple charger and he goes to like Poundland or Tiger and buys one for like £4 because I ain't having that shit.
You're keeping much. You're such a Grinch, man.
So I was like, well, yeah, because
Oh
my
my
sisters are taking the business. Like, oh yeah, I want Adidas jumper. I want like all these expensive makeup things. I was like, well, you buy that yourself because I can't think of anything I want for Christmas, and I'll just buy me what I want when I think of it.
That's the worst attitude to have. That's a terrible attitude. If I say to your kids, right, well, so you get what you want.
No,
I'll
because they
get
won't
what I
have money because they've got money
their
now.
problem.
Innit?
They should get a job.
So
Wow.
yeah,
Terrible.
fuck that. I mean, he's getting a bin.
Fair enough.
I did write on the tag like, dear Stephen, hope your Christmas isn't rubbish.
That's a typical you.
Or you didn't get any rubbish presents or something like
That's a bad joke.
Innit?
Bands.
It's a proper dad joke.
that. Yeah,
But yeah, Christmas is sick. I like Christmas.
it's
For now, anyway.
all right. Maybe when you've got a family, it'll be a bit better.
Maybe. Then yeah, I don't really decorate my house or anything like that, or we don't put a tree up anymore either.
Oh really?
No, because like it's again, everyone in my family was like, we were all like, right, who can be bothered to put up a Christmas tree? No one. Who can be bothered to take down a Christmas tree? No one. So we're not going to put it up anymore. We're just going to put presents in the front room, and you know,
Decent.
Yeah, we'll just sit down and open them, like, because we're not really. We used to do decorations kind of then, and then we had like an artificial tree, but we found it the other day in like one of the cupboards in our house, and it just looked absolutely retarded. So it was just like,
Yeah.
there's no point in us.
I was
getting
going to say, did you guys had artificial? Do you get real ones?
No, they're so messy.
Mm.
They
They're
are.
all everywhere, and then they just fucking die.
Yeah.
Get an artificial one that you can done.
We have the same artificial one for the last 24 years.
Is it?
It's horrendous.
Is
Good value. Good value, David.
Like, I mean, it's probably Woolworths. Like, shout out Woolworths, you know, R.I.P. But yeah, it's terrible, and I hate putting it up. And last year I was purposely out just so I didn't have to put it up.
Even still, even if it's like easy to put up, you still got to like tinsel it, put all the baubles on, hang on
I know.
chocolates, whatever, if that's what you're into. Fucking mad. Mad long process.
What? Oh, this is a good question. What chocolates do you guys go for after you've had your Christmas dinner?
Terry's, innit? Go tell.
Okay.
I absolutely despise Quality Street. I think every Quality
Really?
Street tastes the same. It's like the chocolate like merges into one.
I like Quality Street. I'm more of a roses guy though. I would say. Than
Yeah,
Quality
Roses.
Street.
A Roses
Or-
Cadbury one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celebrations.
Or I go for celebrations.
They've added a new
Or-
one.
I have after eights.
Oh,
quite often as well.
the Milky Way
Yeah, the roll.
roll thing, yeah.
Keeping it
After
spicy.
eights for me. Or Ferrero Rochers. I love Ferrero Rochers.
Thing is, I always used to make the mistake of like, you know, because my mum would still put like a little stocking at the end of all our beds. It would just have a Terry's chocolate orange and a Satsuma, and like something else. And then I'd always eat, or a selection box, and I'd always eat it all in the morning, and then I just feel like so sugar sick until like the dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys drink a lot on Christmas Day?
I don't
didn't
drink.
used to, but now I do.
I don't,
Yeah, now I do.
I don't drink on Christmas Day.
Is
Why?
that because of Christmas Eve?
No, I just don't drink.
Because you drink like every other day.
I don't when we're not out and about.
Yeah.
I don't go and drink in the day.
No, you're not. Obviously, you're not alcoholic.
So I when we go on the weekend, I'll smash it. But
you're gonna alcohol.
but that's it. Like if we go for lunches at work, I don't tend to go and have a beer.
Really? Fair enough.
Didn't you
I
have one on Friday?
Yeah, but that's because we're going out after.
Oh.
I didn't on Wednesday.
Well.
Everyone
Do you
else,
ever-
everyone else did, and you and me didn't.
Well,
Do you ever like casually drink at home?
No.
If I
last Sunday when I couldn't be bothered to go to the kitchen, so I just grabbed a bottle of Copperberg and started drinking it.
only if I like go somewhere, like if we go out or pre-drink or whatever, and I've bought like cans of whatever, and I've got some left over, and I take them home, then I'll drink at home just because I just want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't just drink casually. Like, I don't watch people and think, oh yeah, I really want to have this with a beer or something like that.
I just don't see the point.
No.
But I'll drink on Christmas Day. Like I'll have one or two with my dad in the morning, and then a glass of like prosecco or something. I hate prosecco or beer at lunch, and then I'll go around my dad's and have.
Oh.
We tend to have whiskey and then Baileys and then a few beers. Not a lot, but
It all depends on the people around you if they're drinking. You don't want to be the only one.
That's
if they're
true.
all drinking, you're
That's
like,
true.
fuck it, I'll get smashed. Go on.
yeah.
Even if you're hungover from the day before.
And then my aunt always has something around Christmas time, and my sister got smashed at that last year. I think yeah.
To bring it back to food.
I think you say bring it back to film because
No.
this is a film podcast.
This is Christmas. We're talking about Christmas.
Do you have to wrap it up quite soon?
We
though?
do. Well, I'm almost done. I'm just going to ask this one last thing. So, what's your favourite and least favourite parts of the Christmas meal?
Turkey, least favourite.
As in that.
Turkey's your least favourite part of the meal.
I don't like to. I don't see.
What, worse than all the vegetables and that?
Okay.
Vegetables,
Oh,
yeah.
sprouts. Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
Don't like Brussels
Yeah,
sprouts.
but I don't have Brussels sprouts, so
That's
I
it.
can't say it's my
Yeah,
worst.
I don't have them either.
Yeah, I would agree. Turkey.
If turkey's that's horrendous.
Why? What do you-
If the main part of the meal is the worst part of the meal,
Yeah, but that's
switch
not my
up
main,
the meal.
That's not my main part though. My main part's gammon, or my main part's.
Okay.
See, I don't. I'm
beef
not in
or
charge of
something.
cooking it, so
Yeah.
I don't.
I just cook my own. I'm not going to lie.
I would rather have like a crown of chicken, like with
Yeah.
stuffing in it or something. Like.
Yeah, I love stuffing. I only got into stuffing like a few years ago.
Mm.
Now I absolutely love it.
But do you like it crispy or like sometimes people like it squidgy?
I like it squidgy.
You like it squidgy?
Moist, proper
Mm.
moist.
Moist. You like a moist stuffing ball?
It's hard. I don't get. I
Word
don't
to
like the
Dapper
balls
Laughs,
either.
innit?
No.
Like a big like bowl of it and
Yeah.
just.
To be fair,
Has everyone else done
I
with
can
stuffing,
munch on
though?
it. Yeah, I can definitely munch on a bowl of stuffing.
It does give me the
I think-
fucking shits though.
Favourite could
Probably makes you fart, innit?
Yeah.
parsnips. Love parsnips.
No.
And
Chips
also,
in disguise, mate. They're chips in
Ah,
disguise.
No,
healthy
mate.
chips.
They were disgrace to chips. I hate parsnips.
And also the pigs in blankets.
Oh well, yeah, I love
Best- that's the
love a
best
pig in
part.
a blanket. I hate mince pies though. I proper hate
Really?
them. I can't stand mince pies.
Bit of custard.
I think whatever's in them, the mince part is nasty.
No?
I like the outside part.
What do you have for like desserts then? Do you have like Christmas pudding or like?
No, I just have like chocolates and that. Ferrero Rochers normally. I have some yogurt.
Normally have like a Christmas themed one, like a Christmas pudding or something, and then for the people that don't like it, which is pretty much everyone, like a cheesecake or something.
But do you just have like just you, your mum and dad, or do you have like family around?
No, we always go on my nan's.
Okay.
It's like 12 people in a very small room.
Fair play.
Where does Larry's mum come into all this on your day?
Yeah, well, she went there last year.
Oh, where's she?
Oh.
That's convenient.
Why is it convenient?
She's
Sorry.
not there any year.
Wow. Wow. Can't believe you don't. I still can't believe you don't believe me.
I
What's
need a
this?
Snapchat. Or
You need a
something.
Snapchat?
Yeah, just
I'll
one
I'll send you
Snapchat.
one. I'll send you one next time it
Please
happens.
do.
Innit?
Share this mystery of the world.
Alright, cool.
You're doing the dirty on Larry's mum.
Yeah, mate.
Damn it.
Does Larry go? Or is it just Larry's mum?
Larry's there.
Oh. About his brother?
Yeah.
Where is it? I don't understand the context. Of
What don't you understand? I don't
Where is Larry in all?
What do you mean?
Does he
where
come
is
around your house?
Yeah. Or I go around his house.
Or do you give presents or?
No.
You just.
Why did you go around Larry's house?
My mum and his mum are friends.
Are they?
Yeah.
Just your mum that goes if you go.
Yeah, I'll go with
Your
my
whole
mum.
family, Yeah.
Because no one else knows. No one else knows Larry or his family.
Oh, fair enough.
His dad's usually away as well, isn't he? Well, he's
Who,
been away
Larry's
quite.
dad?
No, your dad's been away quite often, doesn't he? Over Christmas periods.
No, not normally. To be fair,
Huh?
he'll be away in. He's going there. Him and my mum will go to Nigeria after Christmas. To be fair, but yeah, let's wrap up.
Well, thank you for listening to episode 38 of the Film Podcast. Although it was nice to talk about Christmas, do tweet us with your favourite Christmas films, your Christmas traditions. We're on Twitter at Your Average Critics, YC Podcast 17. We're on Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud and iTunes under Your Average Critics. Next week, if we do one next week, we'll talk about, I guess, Pitch Perfect 3. Hopefully,
You gonna watch it?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
The Greatest Showman, hopefully,
Great Showman.
and we'll just do a review of 2017
And a review of 2017, yeah,
Last
definitely.
year, yeah.
So maybe you'll turn up for that one, Conor.
Maybe.
Thank you for special guest Conor.
little cameo. It's a little Christmas treat for you all. And yeah, thank you for listening. Tune in next week.